name is I was born to two lawyers in Connecticut. Please like and subscribe. Ever since I could remember, I was told two things about me. First, I was really beautiful, like Disney princess movie star beautiful. And second, something was seriously wrong with me. I was different from every single person around me, even my parents. It started with small incidents, like Mom asking me how she looked in a really hideous dress. I told her the truth. Yuck, your dress looks like poop. I've been wearing this all day.
Aw, she doesn't mean it.
Yes, I do. You should throw that dress away, Mama. Mom burst into tears.
Hazel, that's a bit too honest.
But she asked me.
Just say you don't look good, okay?
I don't understand why I had to lie. And it turns out in life, you're supposed to lie all the time. Like in third grade, when my dad had his boss over for dinner, I said, I know you. Dad says you're the stupidest, laziest boss in the world. Why are you like that? He lost it, yelled at Dad, and then made him work for 4 weekends straight. Dad loved me too much to be mad at me, and he tried to explain the rules again. And I really tried, but I was simply different. By the time you're in 6th grade, everyone in class will start cracking jokes and playing pranks. If you're like me, and you can't tell when people are lying, it will be a nightmare. The worst offender was my classmate Hunter. He was the son of crazy rich politicians, and he thought he could get away with anything. He was always pulling pranks on students and teachers, and he never got more punishment than detention. One time, as a joke, he said his parents were secretly spies. I was the only idiot at the table who believed him. I started taking careful notes about every juicy, totally made-up detail. It was only when everyone was laughing that he said he was lying. You made all that up? Are you bored or crazy? You really couldn't tell I was joking? Amazing. She's like a stupid robot. Hey, I know you. Your parents are my dad's clients. My dad's a divorce lawyer. The girl looked at me like I was a ghost. My parents are getting divorced? Yes, didn't they tell you? She just ran away.
So beautiful, yet so heartless.
What? People were inching away from me, looking disturbed. Did I say something wrong?
You're fascinating. Are you from another planet?
I didn't have time for his jokes. By the end of the day, the whispers were everywhere. Hazel's scary. She's pretty, but she's crazy. Hazel's the rudest witch on the planet. My tongue was cursed. It either made people hate me or fear me. By the time I was in 11th grade, even my teachers wanted to shut me up. One time, a teacher started yelling at me for correcting her in the middle of class. Why should everyone note down the wrong answer just so you don't feel bad? I wish your manners were as nice as your face. I wish you wore a nicer wig. We can all tell you're bald. Detention now. Whatever. I was fine being weird Hazel with no friends. I understood science and math more than humans, and that was enough for me. The only person who wasn't scared of me was Hunter. He was always ready to pull stupid pranks on me while we were stuck in detention. In a way, I admired him. Hunter got to be as weird as he wanted, and he was still great at making friends. That's when I got an idea. Hunter, you've always been weird. Excuse me? You know, you lie all the time. You get poor grades, and you're always in detention.
Wow.
You have issues, but you're still popular. How do you do that?
I'm handsome, rich, funny.
Listen, I really want to fit in and have fun in our last 2 years here. Think about exactly how you make friends and explain it to me like I'm 5.
That's gonna take time. I expect payment. You can do all of my homework.
Then I expect a proper friendship course with tests.
You need to call me Professor Hunter.
I'm not doing that.
It's a deal breaker.
Fine, Professor Hunter. We struck a deal. The next day, I met Hunter in an empty classroom during lunch for my first lesson on becoming just like everyone else.
I've known you my whole life, and using my expert observations, I've made this course.
Wow.
It only has 4 chapters, and if you get them all, you will be popular.
Let's do it. Chapter 1, Jokes.
Jokes are lies that make people laugh. You can't tell when people are lying, so just laugh if the other person laughs.
What if they're laughing at me?
Then look like you don't even care. Trust me.
We made a list of all the jokes I could use on people, and I practiced them on him for hours. It was hard to get the right tone. There was a new girl in my class, Stacy, and she hadn't heard any of the rumors about me yet. She was the perfect target for my new powers. I sat with her at lunch and rattled off joke after joke till she fell off her chair laughing. Wow, Hazel, you're gorgeous and funny. I'm having a sleepover tonight. You want to come? Oh my God, my first sleepover? I was so excited. I literally rushed to tell Hunter.
It's working already. Time for lesson 2. Chapter 2. Casual chats. Here's a list of acceptable topics you can talk about at a sleepover.
What can't I talk about?
Nothing heavy, no depressing news, and no global warming. It bums people out.
But it's important.
I agree. I'm just telling you how to get along with them.
Fine. I tried to make use of the list at the sleepover, but it was hard. A few times I slipped up and said things that got me weird looks. I didn't even know why. So I just stayed quiet unless someone asked me a question, and I laughed when everyone laughed. And surprisingly, it worked. Stacy asked me to come for another sleepover, and the next day, she went with me everywhere in school. When I saw Hunter, I gave him a hug. I made friends. You're the best teacher ever. Thank you, Hunter.
Professor Hunter.
Come on. Chapter 3, Similar Interests. On Hunter's instruction, I had to do things Stacy liked with her. She was a huge gossip, and even though it made me feel weird, it made her wildly popular in school. She lived at the mall, which was noisy and overwhelming to me. Still, I went with her and made friends with lots of other girls in my class. Then she dragged me from store to store, trying on clothes till I was exhausted. But hey, everyone thought I looked stunning in my new outfits. I slept for 13 hours to recover from that day. And then Stacy dropped a bombshell on me. She wanted to set me up on a date. He's in chemistry with me. He's super cute. In return, you can set me up with Hunter. He's your friend, right? Yeah, he is. Well, he's totally hot and really popular, so I'll go out with him. Can you ask him for me? I said yes and hung up. I was gonna go on my first date ever? I was panicking. I found Hunter after school that day and pulled him into an empty classroom. We need an emergency lesson. Stacy set me up on a date.
Really? You want to go?
Yes, but I'm not ready for this. We never practiced dates.
You want to practice a date with me?
I need quick tips. Other than jokes, casual talk, and similar interests, what can I use?
It's a date, so there's touching.
Where?
Just the arm or the hand or...
Like this?
Yes. You could give him a hug at the end of the date. Don't pat his head.
What else?
You could kiss him.
There was a long pause, and he just stared at me. He wasn't gonna say anything else? Okay, well, thanks for the tips. I patted his head and walked off. I turned right before the door and asked him if he'd go out with Stacy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she's cute.
Fine, whatever.
Stacy was over the moon for her date. She was gonna have no trouble. She was fun, pretty, and sociable. I, on the other hand, was a nervous wreck. When I met her friend James, he said,
"Wow, you're the prettiest girl ever."
Thanks, same to you. Oh, shut up, Hazel, you moron. I just stayed quiet and touched his hand like a robot. And it seemed to be working. Until Hunter's Lamborghini pulled up in front of the restaurant. He walked with Stacy on his arm.
What? You guys are on your date here?
I told you where we're going.
I forgot. Well, the more the merrier.
They joined our table. Honestly, I was less nervous now that Hunter was here, but that changed the second, third, and fourth time he just happened to crash my date. One time we were all at a movie together, and Hunter was acting so weird. He kept competing with James over who shared my soda and who stuck their hand deepest into my popcorn bucket. Stacy was just glaring at both of them. What in the world was going on? On our next double date, the tension exploded. Stacy got a strike and she tried to kiss Hunter, but he dodged her. She hit the floor right on her face. Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
You scared me.
It's our 5th date and you're dodging my kiss?
Ha! That's because he likes Hazel.
What?
He's been hanging around you like a freaking shield.
Hazel, is this true? No, it's not. Tell them, Hunter. Hunter just stared at us. Why wasn't he saying anything? That's when his phone started ringing, and he ran to one side to answer it. He came back looking really freaked out.
There's an emergency. I gotta go. Bye.
Sure, just make an excuse and leave. Ugh, jerk. Stacy was so furious, she was gonna melt. I was worried. I'd never seen Hunter look so scared. I called him many times, but he didn't pick up. He didn't even respond to my messages. When he wasn't in school the next day, I knew I had to go see him. That weekend, I went to Hunter's mansion for the very first time. It was huge. I pretended he had a school emergency so his butler would let me in. I could hear crazy shouting from the house. I looked up to see Hunter's parents arguing like there was no tomorrow. I only had to listen for a minute to know what happened. Hunter's dad had been cheating with several different women, and now his parents were in a full-on battle. I tried to creep out of there, but Hunter's dad spotted me.
Who is this? How did you get into the house?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm a friend of Hunter's.
Hazel, you can't be here.
Your parents are getting a divorce? Is this why you're not coming to school?
Yes, but you can't tell anyone.
I'm sorry your dad's a cheating jerk.
Excuse me? You don't know anything.
I literally heard you say cheated, so you're a jerk.
Get this girl out of my house!
I raced out of there before he really lost it. Hunter was actually laughing.
No one's ever talked to him like that. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I think I'm in love with you.
My heart skipped a beat. What?
It's a joke.
Oh, good one. I left, feeling really confused. Was he really joking? I shook the idiotic thoughts away. I was just happy he was okay. It would take Hunter another week to get back to school, and I was so excited to see him for our last lesson. But the night before, there was a knock on my door, and I saw him standing outside, and he looked mad.
Who did you tell about my parents?
What?
Did you see the news?
He barged into my house and turned on the TV. His parents' faces were on the news with the headline, "The biggest cheating scandal in local government." No!
There's a sea of cameras outside my house. Who did you tell, Hazel?
I'm sorry, Hunter. I told Stacy.
You what?
You were missing for days, and she was hysterical. I had to tell her. She promised she'd keep it a secret.
Do you not understand people at all? Do you notice anything around you?
Your girlfriend was sobbing on my shoulder, begging to know what happened to you.
We haven't even kissed. I don't even like her. Do I have to spell every single thing out for you?
Yes, you do. This is who I am. This is what it takes to be friends with me. Hunter stormed out of the house, and I couldn't hold back my tears. I'd done it again. It was my own fault for thinking I could ever understand all the rules, no matter how many classes I took. Hunter didn't come back to school, and when I saw Stacy, I grabbed her by the collar. Did you sell Hunter out? Yes, the news channel gave me a nice price for the story. What is your problem? Hunter is a player, just like his dad. And you were acting like my friend while flirting with him the whole time. I wasn't. It was obvious. You think you can steal him from me just 'cause you're pretty? You're delusional, and you might have ruined Hunter's life. Good, he deserves it. I slapped Stacy across the face. I can't believe I tried so hard to be your friend. You're pathetic. I locked myself up at home, and thankfully my parents let me take a few days off school to sit in guilt. Guilt for betraying Hunter, for trusting Stacy, for being born a stupid, clueless dummy. This was the saddest I'd ever been, and my parents decided to take me to a therapist. When I first learned that I had social communication disorder, I was scared. I wanted to get out of this, but once I met other fun, amazing people with my condition, I didn't feel so alone anymore. When I came back to school after my break, I had new energy and confidence. To my shock, I heard that Stacy was gone. When Hunter's dad found out she leaked his scandal, he got her expelled from this school. Karma. I searched for Hunter all day, but I couldn't find him. Was he still skipping school? Then suddenly it hit me. I found the closest teacher and said, "I'm gonna bunk all my classes today." What? Classes are boring, and YouTube is God. Well, there's no YouTube in detention. Yes! The moment I entered the room and saw Hunter's adorable face, I jumped on him. Hunter!
Hazel, you're back.
No hugging in detention. Sit far apart. Far! We had to sit 3 seats away, but Hunter still told me how things were at home. His dad had moved out, but they were doing better than before now. And I told him all about my break. I'm so sorry about everything, Hunter. I know you must hate me, and I deserve it. I betrayed your trust.
I don't hate you. You didn't do it on purpose.
Still, I ruined everything.
My dad ruined everything. You just told the truth. It's not your fault everyone else lies.
So, you're not mad at me?
Not after I yelled at you for something you can't control. Sorry about that.
Can we be friends again? I miss you so much.
What do you miss about me?
Your stupid pranks, your jokes, your smile, and I like myself better when I'm with you. Suddenly, Hunter crossed the space between us and kissed me. Oh my God. Want to go out with me?
Yes.
Good. He kissed me again, and our teacher screamed, "No kissing in detention!"
I was busy serving customers in the restaurant when the most handsome guy I'd ever seen came in. I swore he looked like a prince. Calm down, Sam. May I take your order, sir? I wanted to try your... Wow, you look so beautiful. Huh? He suddenly took my hand and placed it on his chest. Can you feel how fast it beats right now? Yeah? This must be love at first sight. What? Are you bored, or do you have a bet with your friends or something? No, I don't. Jokes aside, I'm actually looking for my girlfriend. I saw her coming into this restaurant a while ago. Oh, what does she look like? Suddenly, he took out his phone and showed me a picture of her. It was actually the front of his camera. False alarm. I think I found her. Wait, me? It caught me so off guard that I tripped backwards. Hi, my name is Sam, and I'm a part-time waitress and a full-time weirdo. Please like and subscribe. I couldn't work properly because Austin just stayed for my entire shift and kept staring at me. And before he left, he gave me a huge tip. I ran after him. Is this a joke? Are you trying to win me over with money? Because it's not gonna work. No, I was just trying to get you to come after me and talk. He looked so shy all of a sudden, and it was kind of cute. I'll be dreaming of you tonight. He then winked at me before finally getting into his limo, and I spent the whole night thinking that it actually happened. The next day at school, my best friend Garrett suddenly ran up to me with an ear-piercing squeal. Girl, you will not believe who just joined our class. He was the most handsome guy that I have ever seen in my life. A 100% snap. Garrett was a year older than me, but since we worked together in the restaurant, we became besties for life. Oh yeah? Cool. I didn't think that someone would be more attractive than that rich guy last night, though. Oh my God, he's coming this way. Okay, I need to calm down. My jaw dropped when I turned. No frickin' way! It was him, the guy from the cafe. What are you doing here? I just got transferred here as a senior. This must be fate, don't you think? Or stalking. He just smiled at me, reached for my hand, and kissed it. See you around, beautiful. When he finally left, Garrett turned to me like he'd seen a ghost. You have some explaining to do, girlie. I told him everything that happened last night, and he went bonkers. Ugh, you're lucky that you're prettier than me. So, what's your plan? What do you mean, plan? Duh, he obviously likes you. If I were you, I'd marry him right away. There's no plan, and he's probably messing around, so get over it. I don't think so, honey. Apparently, Garrett was right. The guy's name is Austin, and he'd come to the restaurant daily to see me and was showering me with attention in school, too. Garrett would turn into a happy worm every time, but the girls weren't digging it. One day, he invited me out for dinner, and when I finally agreed, he took me to a landing pad. Is that your private jet? I heard there's a really good restaurant in Korea, and I wanted to try it with you. Korea? We're gonna have dinner in another country? Only the best for someone as lovely as you, Sam. I was still speechless when we finally arrived. Austin, you can have any girl you want. Someone prettier and richer, so why me? You don't even know anything about me. I told you, it was love at first sight. And I don't care whether you're rich or poor. I just want to take care of you. He leaned in and tucked a strand of my hair behind my ear. Why was I resisting this? He was lovely, and he liked me. It was worth a shot dating him. Soon enough, Austin and I were an item, and he was just too good to be true. He'd take me out to yacht parties, concerts, and dinners with his friends, and all these people were so fancy. I just felt this pressure to look good and wear makeup all the time and act a certain way. I liked Austin a lot, but I felt like I was a different person in his world, and something between us was just missing. One night, I told Mom about it, and she shared something with me. When I first met your dad, I felt this heart-pounding rush in my chest. At that moment, I just knew that he was the one. That heart-pounding rush. That's what was missing with Austin. At school the next day, I was looking for Austin and found him in the locker room. Only he looked really different. His hair was dyed black, and there was a cool tattoo on the side of his neck. He looked breathtaking. Was this the rush Mom was talking about? Just then, I tiptoed and gave him a kiss on the cheek. Whoa, what was that for? You look irresistible today. Your new look suits you better. He just gave me a confused look and walked away. What was wrong with him? I followed him and he looked annoyed. Why are you following me? Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? You kissed me without my permission. It was just a kiss on the cheek, and you're my boyfriend. In your dreams, sister. Wow, I didn't know that you're actually a huge jerk. Yes, I am. Now leave me alone. I went to the bleachers to compose myself, and there he was again, holding a bouquet of flowers. Flowers for the lovely lady. I almost choked when I saw him with his blonde hair again. You're Austin, my boyfriend, right? Why wouldn't I be? I felt so confused. I grabbed his hand and dragged him inside the building. Just then, I bumped straight into someone. It was the hotter Austin. First, you want to kiss me, and now you want to feel my chest? Control yourself, please. I looked at the two back and forth. You have a twin brother? Ding, ding, ding. Austin apologized for not telling me that minor detail earlier. He told me that Apollo got kicked out of his school abroad and just got here today. He then turned to his twin. Don't mess with my girl again, or else. Maybe you should tell her that. She kissed me and told me that I looked more handsome with darker hair. Hey, I didn't know that my boyfriend has a twin. Austin pulled me aside to a corner. So, you find him more attractive? You both literally look the same. It's not a big deal. Fine, but I need you to stay away from him. He's just trouble. Why would I want to stick with him anyway? But the universe wanted to make my life complicated. Apollo failed a grade in his previous school, so he was put in the same class as mine. And worse, he drove my seatmate away and sat beside me. Excuse me, but why here? There's a lot of vacant seats at the back. Just doing you a favor, in case you missed my brother. Unbelievable! I told Garrett about the mess, and he just laughed at me. Oh, girl, I think you're in deep trouble. Was I? One time I was reading in the library when Austin came and sat next to me. Hey, I've been looking for you. What you doing? Just checking on some disappearing cases in the Bermuda Triangle. Do you really think there are sea monsters down there? Why are you reading such nonsense? Are you a child? Suddenly, he snatched the book away from me and tossed it aside. I was furious. You didn't have to throw the book away. You should focus on more fun things. Like me. Books are lame. That explains why you're stupid. He turned to see Apollo reading a book behind us. What did you say? Oh, I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm reading something out loud. Before Austin could throw a fit, Apollo got up and left. Austin was mumbling something about how awful his twin was, and here I was, thinking about how attractive he looked as he held that book. The next few days were confusing for me. The more I hung out with Austin, the more I realized that we had nothing in common. One time, he forced me to play tennis with him, and just a few seconds later, I was already a rotten vegetable. He was into active sports, while I just wanted to sleep. He took me to a party one night, and while he was dancing away with his friends, I sat in a corner feeling totally out of place. Why did the music have to be so loud? I opened my phone just then and was surprised to see the news. There was a captured on camera, and the place where it landed seemed to be near here. I escaped the club and went straight to the location. As I walked toward the clearing, I spotted a guy studying some marks on the ground. When he looked up at me, I was shocked to see who it was. Apollo, what are you doing here? Are you following me? Duh, I came here to see the meteorite. We're late. The NASA guys already took it. It landed over there. What a bummer. There's possibly an alien here somewhere too. Quite likely. Are you making fun of me? Or do you think aliens are real too? I might sound weird, but yes, I believe that we're not alone in this universe. There's life out there, but the government is just hiding the truth from us. For the first time ever, he smiled, and I felt that rush again. We started talking, and I was having a really good time. He offered me some food, and while we were eating, I suddenly burped out loud. Oops, sorry. He just laughed and said, I'm sorry I was a jerk when we first met. I just thought it was cute that you mistook me as my brother, so I decided to tease you. It's not a big deal. Soon, we both laid down on the grass and watched the sky above as we continued talking about aliens and other conspiracy theories. Suddenly, he turned to me and there was that heart-pounding rush again. I'm really glad that I'm not alone in this, believing in all this stuff. I thought I was the only one. Me too. I was feeling lost in his eyes, and suddenly I snapped out of it.
This is
It's
2
getting late.
hours
My
of
mom's gonna kill me.
MSA.
He dropped me home, and when he was finally
Please
gone,
don't
I
leave
realized
posts.
that I was still smiling. Maybe I was just happy to find
There's
someone
1,
with similar
2,
interests.
3,
Yeah, that was it. Since then, Apollo and I became closer
4,
at school,
5,
and we never ran out of
6,
things to talk about. During our classes,
7,
we would secretly pass notes. What do you
8,
think really happened to Malaysia
9.
Airlines Flight 370? Do you think Bigfoot is real? Where did Amelia Earhart suddenly go? Which really came first, the chicken or the egg? And it turned out we both loved My Story Animated too. Apollo and I would always watch the newest episode on YouTube during recess. Austin eventually noticed our closeness, and he looked pissed. Apollo is trying to steal you away from me. What are you talking about? He's your brother. I should get along with him too, right? Whatever. Remember, you're mine. You're making it sound like you own me, and I don't like that. Suddenly, he kissed me gently on the cheek. I didn't mean it like that, babe. I just like you a lot. And Apollo's always wanted everything I have. He might be getting close to you just to piss me off. Somehow, that didn't sound like Apollo to me, and I liked having him as my friend. One night, Apollo visited me at the restaurant and waited for my shift to end before taking me somewhere. I want to show you something. Sometime later, we arrived at a field near their mansion. This is where I last saw Mom, and the next day, she was gone. I saw some marks of a spaceship right here. I was just 5 then, so I made myself believe that aliens took her away. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sure your mom is in a better place now. I wish they'd taken me with her too. Someone will be sad if they did, you know? I don't think so. I'm useless and just a pain in the butt. I'm pretty sure someone will be sad. Sam? Yeah? You know what it means when I go missing one day. What are you saying? And why are you saying this? Just in case. His words were sending me goosebumps. But before I could say anything more, he just changed the topic and said he'd drop me home. I just couldn't stop thinking about Apollo all the time. I was falling for him. With him, I could just be me. I had to talk to Austin and end things. It wasn't fair to lead him on. I pulled him into an empty classroom the next day. We need to talk about something. Save that for later. I need you to join us for dinner tonight. My dad is really excited to meet you. But please, don't make an excuse. I've had a really lovely dinner all planned out for us. Please? I sighed and said yes. And the next thing I knew, he sent a team of stylists to my house to dress me up like the richest girl in town. Ugh. When I finally arrived at the restaurant, my jaw almost dropped upon seeing his dad and stepmom. They looked like royalty. Mom, Dad, I would like you to meet Samantha, my girlfriend. You're even prettier than he described. Welcome to the family, sweetheart. Welcome to the what now? As we started eating, someone came and sat next to me. I almost choked on my orange juice when I realized who it was. Apollo. Why was he here? Sorry I'm late. But no one seemed to care. Their dad continued talking about how perfect Austin was and how he trusted him to be the next CEO of his company. As Austin was trying to be extra sweet to me, Apollo suddenly held my hand from under the table. Apollo, honey, you should also find a girlfriend as beautiful as Samantha. Unfortunately for him, no one can be as beautiful as my Sam. Then maybe you can break up and just let me be with her. Excuse me? Before things could get out of hand, the waitress suddenly spilled the whole pitcher of juice, messing up Austin's shirt. This is unacceptable. Dad, let's go to a better restaurant. We could go to another city. I can have the helicopter ready in minutes. They were unbelievable. I excused myself to the restroom to calm myself down, and as I got out, I noticed the waitress crying at the back, and Apollo was talking to her. Here, please, take this as an apology for my family's behavior. He was giving her a huge tip, and I felt my heart melting. How was he so different from his family? When I went back, I told them that I needed to go home because I wasn't feeling well. As Austin was driving me home, I finally confronted him. I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. What? Are you breaking up with me? I tried, but it's just not working. Is this about the stupid waitress? Watch your words. I'm a waitress too, in case you forgot. This is about Apollo, right? You like him. What are you talking about? He's a hopeless case, Sam. There's no future with him. He's always depressed. Do you even know why he's like that? It's because of Mom. I lost her too, but I moved on eventually. He's just being dramatic. I'm here. I'm better than him by 100 times. Not everyone is as insensitive as you are, Austin. After everything I did for you, you choose that loser over me? I'm literally perfect, and you're just a dumb waitress. I suddenly slapped him, hard, and then I stormed out of his car. Jerk. He ignored me after that, but I couldn't care less. What was bothering me was the fact that Apollo started avoiding me too, on purpose. Thanks to Garrett for keeping me sane, or else I would have already lost my mind. One day, our class had to do a team building exercise on the lakeside, and during one game, I was teamed up with both brothers of all people. We were on a raft and we needed to collect 20 plastic balls from the water in 3 minutes. It was so awkward because both of them were pretending that I was invisible. While I was reaching for a ball, an unexpected wave suddenly hit us and I fell into the water. I didn't know how to swim. I kicked around frantically, and just as I felt I was going to give up, I felt strong arms around my waist. I got you. I got you. It was Apollo, and he quickly swam to the shore with me. He was looking down at me with a really worried face. Just then, Austin came running and pushed him aside. Sam, are you okay? I'll take you to the hospital. No, I'm fine now. I thought I was gonna lose you. I still love you, you know. But I don't love you, Austin. I thought I was sending Apollo a really clear message, but he silently walked away. Had I been misreading all the signs? I was certain he liked me too, but he was just running away from me. When I went to school after the weekend, I noticed he wasn't in class. He didn't turn up the next day either, and I had no choice but to ask Austin about it. He went back to the US because he got bored here. Get over it. Get over it? I couldn't believe that he'd leave just like that. Weeks turned into months, and there wasn't a single word from him. Mom and Garrett were trying their best to distract me and cheer me up, but I would still think about him every night. I often visited our spot in the field, hoping he'd magically show up, but he never did. Months later, Austin came up to me one day and said he had to tell me something. Apollo didn't leave because he was bored, Sam. He's been sick since he was a kid, and his disease got worse, and he needed to go back to the US for his treatment. Yeah, I was mad at you for breaking up with me, but I actually kept the truth from you because he didn't want you to know. He's completely fine now, and he came back a week ago. You should go see him. I felt my eyes well up. Why are you being nice to me? I thought you hated me. No, never. I can be a jerk sometimes, but I'm really not that bad. I want you to be happy, and my brother too. I gave him a quick hug and then rushed to the field Apollo had taken me to. And I found him sitting in the same spot. It was really him. Apollo! Sam, I thought you were gone for good. Well, the aliens tried to take me, but I didn't go with them. I can't just leave someone behind. I wonder who that is. I'll give you a clue. She's a beautiful weirdo who has made my life so much brighter just by being in it. Please don't ever leave me again. I won't. I love you, Sam, and I want to solve all of the mysteries of the universe with you forever. I love you too. And yes, let's start with the sea monsters, please. He laughed before finally kissing me.
These are the 2 first names of MSA.
Hi, my name is Cleo, and I'm possibly the clumsiest girl on Earth. Accidents just happen around me. I swear, it's not my fault, but
but that made me the most famous TikToker now. Please like and subscribe because My Story Animated will give $1,000 to one lucky person who subscribes in the next 7 days. Tell your friends, your sister, brother, and mom to subscribe now. My parents were really wealthy, and they liked their luxury. When I was 9 months old, Dad brought a rare vase from Thailand and proudly placed it on the table. 100 blind monks painted this. Took them 2 years. In less than 2 minutes, I'd crawled straight into the table and toppled it over. I started clapping at the cool smashing sound, but something about Dad's face made me stop. When I started walking, I was like freaking Godzilla, destroying everything in my way. My parents packed away all their precious collector's items, covered the furniture with plastic wrap, and switched to paper cups and plates. But when I was 5 years old, I caused a disaster of epic proportions. One day, I saw the servant sneaking something into Dad's study, and I felt really curious. Later that night, I went down to have a look at it. It was just a dumb painting. As I was about to cover it up, I tripped over the cloth and went crashing straight into the painting, ripping a me-shaped hole through the canvas. Oh my God. The next day, Dad had invited hundreds of friends to our mansion for the unveiling of the painting.
It's such an honor that the great artist has let me borrow it. Behold the masterpiece. Holy moly!
The artist sued Dad, and he had to pay millions in damages. Luckily, money wasn't an issue, but Dad was still so mad. He thought I wasn't normal, so he whisked me off to the doctor who did lots of tests and scans and said there was nothing wrong with me.
Maybe she's just evil then. Maybe she's pretending to be clumsy and destroying our lives for fun.
You sound crazy. Our baby is not evil.
Your baby is a walking disaster.
But then one day, I discovered something that changed my life. When I was 8, Mom took me to the city for the first time, but we were in a really crowded place and I slipped away from her. As I looked around, I saw a group of homeless children dancing in the street. I immediately fell in love with the way they gracefully moved their bodies. People were giving them money after their performance, but I only had my lollipop, so I gave it to one of them and she was happy. From then on, I'd watch YouTube videos and teach myself to dance, even though I was so clumsy usually. The beat of the music somehow made my body movements really coordinated. One day, I decided to show off my moves to my parents. Mommy, Daddy, look! I'm a dancer. Mom was thrilled, but Dad looked horrified and immediately turned off the music.
Good God, how can I unsee that? Don't you ever do that again.
What do you mean, Daddy? I'm a really good dancer, like Beyonce.
Who told you that? Your mirror? Drop this nonsense. You'll be running my company one day, idiot. Who says she can't do both? She can take dancing lessons right now and learn about your company when she's older. I say she can't because I pay the bills, and I don't ever want to hear the word dancing in my house again.
I was furious. As I was storming off past him, I accidentally tripped and knocked his phone out of his hand. The screen was smashed to bits. I ran off grinning as he roared. But he was right. He did pay the freaking bills. So I kept learning secretly, but I never mentioned it again. Everyone thought I'd outgrow my clumsiness, but it just seemed to get worse. And of course, in high school, something like this makes you the perfect target for bullies. On my first day in 9th grade, the teacher asked me to collect everyone's notebooks. As I gingerly walked up with the pile, I tripped. When I started picking them up, I didn't see the teacher kneeling down to help me, and I elbowed him really hard in the eye. Word of my clumsiness spread like wildfire. People had bets on when I'd fall or drop something next. If I was seen with any hot food or drink, everyone started running away like the devil was after them. Needless to say, I didn't have any friends, except this crazy rich jock, Hudson, who'd been acting like my boyfriend since the first time he saw me. One day, I was in the girls' bathroom when he suddenly barged in.
Baby cakes, I have a surprise for you.
He pulled me outside where everyone had already gathered to see his gift. Hundreds of iPhones arranged in a giant heart on the ground.
That's 365 iPhones, babe. One for every day of the year. I'll buy you more when you've smashed all of these.
Another time, he gave me a horse. Hudson, what am I gonna do with it? We're in a city.
But that's the one thing you don't have. And you deserve everything. Now go on, Try sitting on it.
Erin, the most popular cheerleader, made a bed out of it, as always. Gather around, guys. New bet starting now. $1,000 if she falls off in the first minute. I was just getting onto the horse when it suddenly flicked its tail and knocked me over. To my horror, I landed in its poop. Erin was howling in triumph as cash rained on her. Keep up the good work, you stupid klutz. Make me richer. When I tried to get up, everyone suddenly disappeared, including Hudson. That jerk. But then, Erin did something that made me even crazier. She started a freaking dance club at school. While I was reading the dance club poster, I heard Erin behind me. Seriously? Don't even think about it. I only accept the best, and you can't even walk straight, dummy. Don't worry, I'm not interested. At all. Of course, that was a lie. It was my dream to dance with other people, like those kids on the street I'd seen years ago, but I could only dance by myself. One afternoon, while I was walking in our garden, I tripped over a sunflower, and suddenly, a splash of water hit my face.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. I didn't see you. I'm Samuel, the new driver.
I looked up to see a gorgeous boy washing our cars with a garden hose, and he was shirtless. As he helped me up, I couldn't help wondering how hard his abs were. I stumbled on purpose, and my palms accidentally landed on his abs, harder than a rock.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be? Without another word, I ran off to my room. A few hours later, I was dancing away when I caught Samuel watching me through the window. How long have you been standing there?
You dropped your necklace. I just came to return it. But you were so great, I was mesmerized.
I swear his compliment had my stomach breakdancing. I started hanging out with him after that day, and it felt good to have a friend who knew my little secret. But the universe kept teasing me. Erin started dancing on TikTok and got 1 million followers in a week. Samuel kept encouraging me to make my own account.
I bet you're gonna have 1 million followers in just one day.
My dad won't like it. He doesn't get me. But from then on, I started filming myself whenever I danced in my room. Maybe someday Dad would come around. One evening, Dad took me to a company dinner and officially introduced me as the future CEO. Everyone raised a toast to it, but it just didn't feel right. As I made my way to the front for a speech, my dress got caught on something and ripped, exposing my underwear. Everyone in the room started laughing quietly, and I could see Dad's furious face. I ran out as fast as I could to the car. Samuel looked at my tear-stained face with concern.
Are you okay, ma'am?
I'm sure lots of people think I have the perfect life as a rich heiress, but I want things that money can't buy. I want to do what I love. I want to make my parents proud. And I just want to be normal. To make me feel better, Samuel took me to a dance club. I closed my eyes and just started dancing. Minutes later, I'd forgotten everything because I was in my happy place. When I opened my eyes, I saw Samuel looking at me and my heartbeat raced.
Ma'am, you're a goddess. I could watch you all day.
Suddenly, I pulled him in close. It's not ma'am, it's Cleo. Just then, I got a call from my dad yelling at me to come home immediately.
Your behavior is unacceptable, but I'll forgive you on one condition. Date the son of my biggest investor, at least for 6 months.
I thought about Samuel, but I knew Dad wasn't really giving me a choice. So I agreed. The next day when he introduced me to his investor's son, my jaw dropped open. Hudson?
Baby cakes!
Did you know about this?
Duh, I've always known who you are. You're not just hot, your parents are as rich as mine.
That very night, I was invited to dinner by his parents, and Dad had a list of instructions for me.
Don't disappoint them, or else I'm going to lose billions. Think before you even breathe, Cleo. And no cursing. They hate that.
Unfortunately, thinking wasn't gonna help. Hudson had the scariest parents in the world. They were watching my every move. It was so nerve-wracking. I got clumsier by the second. I kept dropping my fork, and when I tried to pass his mom the water, the jug slipped from my hand. But then, the unthinkable happened. I dropped some soup on my dress and excused myself for the bathroom. As soon as I got up, I hit my pinky toe on the edge of the table. Holy piece of stupid sh! They looked at me like I'd just killed their whole neighborhood. I was sure Hudson wouldn't want anything to do with me after that dinner, but Dad would be raging mad when he found out. But I actually didn't care.
The next day at school, I was really surprised when Hudson walked over to me and put his arm around my waist. Baby cakes? I don't care if my parents think you're a stupid klutz. You're too beautiful for anyone else. I have a grand gift to make you feel better. He pushed a bunch of car keys into my hand. 20 sports cars for you, babe. 20 freaking cars? But I didn't even know how to drive. He gave the stupidest gifts ever. Just then, he kissed me and I pushed him away. I'm sorry, Hudson, but I can't force myself to like you. I like someone else. Also, you're really obnoxious. And with that, I threw the car keys at him and walked away. Of course, Hudson's parents backed out from the deal, and Dad went psycho. I told him what a jerk Hudson was, but he didn't care. So, your mom married me, didn't she? It's actually because of that poor driver, isn't it? Well, I sent him back to his country and I told him to stay away from you, if he knows what's good for him. I was shocked, and then I was furious. That's it. Keep your stupid house and your stupid company to your stupid self. I'm not giving up on anything for you now. How dare you talk to me like that? She's right. I'm not watching you bully her anymore either. Dad immediately kicked us both out of his mansion and cut off all our allowances. But Mom wasn't sorry at all and said she'd rather be poor than with him. We moved to my late grandparents' house. Luckily, I still had the horse and iPhones Hudson gave me, and I sold them all off to give us a head start. And I made my own account and uploaded my saved videos. To my surprise, I got 2 million followers over the weekend. Erin was smoking red. Next day at school, she came to me and said, "How is this possible? I can twerk and throw it back better than you." I guess my followers just disagree with you, Erin. Fine, let's dance to the same song. And whoever has more likes in 1 hour wins. Loser pays $50,000 and drops out of school. Challenge accepted. We did the dance, and I won by 100,000 likes. Erin's account was suddenly deleted, and I never saw her again. Mom encouraged me to do more videos, and I reached 20 million followers in just 4 months. She also started joining me, and I was mind blown by her moves. So that's where I got my talent. 2 years later, we started a dance studio where I taught little kids how to dance and to chase their dreams. And this seemed just right. But there was something missing from my life until one day, a handsome guy entered my studio, and when he took off his shades, I swear I almost fainted. Can I get an autograph? I can give you more than that, Samuel. We went out and sparks flew. Sam was charming, kind, and simple. Even my mom loved him. We started dating and even danced together for some videos. My fans went crazy when we finally got married, and they adored the heck out of our clumsy.
Hi, my name is Pearl. My parents were one of the richest people in the city, and when I was born, everyone gasped at how amazingly beautiful I was. And since I was their only child, my parents treated me like a princess. Agoo agoo. Oh my gosh, honey, our daughter said her first words.
Let's throw a party.
They were just crazy about me. I had hundreds of maids to feed me, bathe me, walk me, and even comb my hair. Oh my gosh, you broke my darling girl's hair. Do you have any idea what this hair is worth? It's worth millions! Of course, Mom overreacted a lot. She would even fire the maids if my milk was not the right temperature. And Dad was no less. When I turned 5, he ordered the servants to redecorate my room. And you won't believe it, he changed everything to gold and diamonds, including my toilet seat. Not only that, but I had different dresses and shoes to wear every day, and the driver would drop me off to school in my favorite pink Lamborghini. I felt like a true princess, and honestly, I loved it. But there was someone who hated every bit of the life that I lived. Melissa. She was the meanest girl in my class, and she hated me for, well, everything. She would steal my dolls, cut their heads off, and toss them away. Once, she even trashed all of my notebooks. But school wasn't the only place that I had to bear her. Her parents were friends with mine, and I often saw her at sleepovers and parties too. On my 14th birthday, Mom and Dad threw me a grand party and invited all of their rich friends, and Of course, Melissa came with her parents too. When I walked down the stairs, everyone looked stunned by my beauty. Everyone but Melissa. Her face turned red like a tomato.
Good Lord, your daughter is so pretty. I think I'm gonna marry her to my son.
Ew, no. There was no way that I was gonna marry his stupid son, Xander. But I wasn't the only one who was mad about it. Melissa had always dreamed of becoming super rich by marrying Xander because his dad was the richest man in the city, and she looked super pissed at this comment. But then suddenly, her facial expressions changed, and she walked up to me with a smile.
Hey, Pearl. Happy birthday. Here is a gift from me.
What? Was there a bomb in there? But then, when I opened the box, a kitten jumped out of it. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I loved it, but why was Melissa being so nice to me all of a sudden? Something didn't feel right. Later that night, when everyone left, I was playing with my cute little kitten when suddenly it scratched my face with its paw. Ah! Melissa's cat turned out to be just like her. Evil. Mom and Dad came rushing out when they heard my screams. They rushed me to a hospital, but even after weeks of treatments and several procedures, the scar didn't go away. Now I had no choice but to live with it and cover it with makeup. When I went back to school, Melissa was waiting to mess with me again. But thank God she had no idea about my scar, or she would make my life a nuisance.
Move, Pearl. This is my seat, and just because you're rich doesn't mean you own everything.
Well, I do own a lot of things, but I don't see your name on it either. She got super pissed, and she was about to throw her plate of food in my face when Xander cut in and stopped her.
Hey, stay away from my girl Pearl. Stop messing with her.
My girl? What's going on? I'm not your girl. Are you crazy?
Oh, my sweet pea. Don't you remember what my dad said on your birthday? We're gonna be married eventually.
What? We're just 14. Are you crazy?
There is no way you can marry him, Pearl. I won't let that happen.
Well, I won't let that happen either. Now get away from me, both of you. God, these guys were so crazy. It was such a headache going to school every day and seeing them. Especially Xander. He was such a pain in the butt. He'd flirt with me all the time and scare away all of the other guys who ever tried to talk to me. I hated every bit of my junior year, up until the teacher introduced an exchange Korean student to the class. His name was Mino, and gosh, he was so handsome. The teacher asked me to help him with the syllabus, and while we were studying in the library one day, Xander came marching at us.
Who do you think you are sitting here with my girlfriend?
Saying that, he suddenly grabbed my hand.
You're coming with me, Pearl.
Let go of my hand, Xander. I'm not your girlfriend. Just cut in and punched him in the face.
You should have just let her go.
Oh my gosh. His deep voice and those fierce eyes, I instantly fell in love with him. He was so amazing. Xander ran from there like a scaredy cat, and I thanked Mino for saving me from that jerk, to which he
I don't
smiled
care
and said,
if you're
"Well, I
not
can see he's
with
a
me
jerk,
every
but
time
you're so
you
pretty.
shut
Anyone
you
would go crazy for you.
Oh my gosh, he thought that I was pretty. My cheeks turned red and I almost melted. After that, Mino and I spent most of our time reading in the library together. It was so much fun just to
MSA
sit next to him and admire all of
videos.
those books. Months felt like days with him, and I couldn't believe that a year had passed with him. Then one day, while I was having lunch at the cafeteria, Xander came up to me and started acting up all of a sudden.
You think you're gonna be happy with that stupid jerk? He's a loser.
Well, last I saw, you were the one who got punched.
That's because I just didn't hit the gym that day. But anyways, I won't let him take you away from me, Pearl.
You don't own me, Xander. Now get lost. But before I could complete my sentence, Melissa threw a can of juice in my face.
Stay away from my guy, you witch. Don't you already have a guy now?
Melissa, have you lost it?
Drop the act, you boyfriend stealer.
But then suddenly I realized my makeup, my scar. I pushed past her and ran to the washroom immediately. But to my horror, I ran straight into Mino. His eyes widened as he looked at me. Oh no.
Why are you all wet? Who did this to you?
What? Did he see my scar? Or was it that he just didn't care?
Tell me who did this. I'm gonna teach them a lesson.
No, Mino, it's fine. I just tripped. I couldn't believe that he got so mad seeing me hurt, and he didn't mention anything about my scar. Like it was totally normal. Gosh, he was such a darling. I couldn't resist it anymore. I pulled him in for our first kiss, and wow, it was magical. After that, we started officially dating, and I felt like the happiest person on earth, but not for long. Mom, what's wrong? Why are you crying?
It's your dad, honey. He had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh, Mom, what happened? Where is he? Mom told me that Dad lost all his money in a bad investment, and now we're almost bankrupt. Dad didn't take the news so well, and he ended up in the hospital. After that, I stayed at home for almost a week until Dad recovered, and I didn't tell Mino so he wouldn't worry. Then one day, all of a sudden, Mom and Dad asked me to accompany them to a party. But Dad, you just got discharged. But they insisted that I tag along anyway, and they asked me to doll up and put on my best dress. But when we got there, Xander's dad made an announcement that almost gave me a heart attack.
Hello, everyone. It brings me great joy to announce the engagement of my son Xander with my friend's daughter Pearl. Please, everyone, give the couple a big hand.
And with that, Mom started dragging me onto the stage. What? Mom! Wait, what's going on? Is this some sort of joke?
Oh, honey, please don't be mad. It's the only chance that we have to save our company and our home. Besides, Xander is such a nice guy.
No, Mom. Xander's a jerk, and I am not doing this.
Oh, honey, but look at your dad. He's so happy. The doctor said that he wouldn't survive another heart attack. Do you want him to leave us forever?
I looked at Dad, and indeed, he looked happy. And although I loved Mino so much, I couldn't let my dad die either. So I had to choose my parents' happiness over mine. A few days later, when I went to school, I found out that Xander had told everyone about our engagement, including Mino, and he looked furious.
Tell me this is all a lie. Tell me you didn't want any part of this. Just tell me.
But I couldn't tell him the truth. Mino, I love Xander, and that's why I'm marrying him.
No, you're lying.
No, I'm not. He's rich, and who doesn't want money? I knew that he loved me, and that my words would break his heart, but I had no choice but to lie. After hearing what I said, he backed off, and he left, and he never looked at me again. Finally, on our wedding day, when I felt like everything was gonna be fine, things took a wild turn. I heard Mom and Dad talking about something I had never imagined in my worst nightmare.
Stop eating so much! You're gonna have another gastric attack, and it's your daughter's wedding day. Well, thanks to my gastric attack, Pearl agreed to the marriage, thinking it was a heart attack. Otherwise, there was no way of getting her to agree to this, and we would have remained poor for the rest of our lives.
What? You guys lied to me? How could you? Mom started crying and tried to stop me.
Please, honey, please understand that
I sacrificed my happiness because of you guys, and you... Oh, I hate you! I stormed out of the wedding venue, throwing the wedding ring in Xander's face when I met him on my way out.
Stop, Pearl. Where are you going? Wait, you're the one leaving? Really? I know all about your ugly scar, and I still want you. You stupid girl, this is how you pay me back?
What? You knew?
Yeah, dumbhead, I knew. So come back here and kiss me right now, or I'll make you regret it.
He got closer and tried to pull me to him, but I slapped him hard and left. I wasn't gonna wait or listen to anyone anymore. I had to find Mino and tell him that I loved him. I called his friends, but they told me that he was at a BTS concert at the MetLife Stadium. Really? Of all places, a BTS concert? I rushed to the stadium and I ran backstage to grab a mic and shout out my confession to him. But oh my gosh, I couldn't believe my eyes when I ran into all of the BTS members. It was like I was dreaming.
What are you doing here? Why are you dressed like that? Do you need some help?
Of course, I wished that the time would stop right there and then, but I had to find the love of my life. I told them about my situation and I asked them to help me, and they did. They were so nice. They allowed me to go on stage and talk to Mino. I was really nervous, but then I gathered all of my courage to speak. Mino, I'm so sorry that I lied to you. But the truth is that I love you, and I can't live without you. Please forgive me. My eyes filled with tears as I confessed my love for him. And then I saw him running towards me through the crowd. He jumped up on stage, and he kissed me. The crowd cheered for us as he lifted me up in his arms and whispered in my ears, "I love you too."
BTS. And they come, baby. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Petra from Serbia, and I have an extremely rare condition where my aging process is much slower than that of regular people. Like when I was 6 years old, I looked like a dumb 2-year-old toddler, which made people treat me like one. And things got even worse as a teenager. But before I continue, click like and subscribe. Because of my condition, my parents decided to homeschool me till I was a bit older. I only got to hang out with other kids at the playground, and I'd get picked on all the time because I looked so much smaller than everybody. Once, when I was about 8 years old, I was playing on the slides in the park when a worried-looking woman came running to me.
Sweetie, are you lost?
No.
Oh, poor baby. Probably can't understand a thing. You must be so scared.
Do I look scared? And I'm not a baby. But she wasn't even listening to me. And before I knew it, she was calling over a policeman from the street.
We have a missing child here, officer. Please, help her find her mommy and daddy.
Despite my protests, the policeman whisked me off to the station and started taking pictures of me for missing child posters. Oh my God, I know my parents' number and address. I live right across the street from the playground, and you guys kidnapped me. This was the beginning of many, many times my parents had to come get me from the police station. I finally joined school in the 7th grade. The minute I walked into the classroom, a girl elbowed me roughly and said, "I think you've lost your way, kid." Oh, if only I had $1 for every time I heard that. I would be a millionaire by now, and I wouldn't need to be in this school with dumb people like you. And with that, I pushed her aside and took my seat. When I did all the math problems correctly in the first lesson, the teacher called me over, looking all starstruck.
Wow, Petra, you're a genius.
Thanks. Why?
Because you solved these algebra problems meant for 12-year-olds.
But I am 12 years old. The teacher just giggled and then did something I hated. She pulled my cheek.
Oh, aren't you a little cutie pie?
Yes, you definitely have the mind of a 12-year-old. No matter how many times I said it, no one believed that I was actually 12. They all thought I was some kind of baby genius who'd been bumped up a few grades. Eventually, I gave up and let everyone believe I was super smart. This didn't really help me become popular or make friends, though. Jessica, the meanest girl in class, wasn't too happy because everyone thought I was the smartest, and she made sure everyone constantly made fun of me. Does your butt look big because you're wearing a diaper? What kind of language is that book in?
Goo goo gaga.
Another time, I was eating lunch by myself when Jessica suddenly stopped by my table.
Aw, how is the baby gonna eat all that with her little baby teeth?
Why are you this way, Jessica?
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you so awful to me? You're the most popular girl in class. Yeah, I know. But before you showed up out of nowhere, I was the smartest too. Fine, you're the prettiest and the smartest girl in the world. Can you leave me alone now, please?
Sure.
But let me mash everything for the little baby to eat first. And with that, she started pounding my food with her fist. OMG, you are such a psycho. And with that, I picked up the smushed piece of cake and flung it at her face. She picked up my glass of juice and dunked it on my head. And before we knew it, everybody joined in for fun and a full-scale food fight had broken out. We both got detention. And after that day, I found a corner in the little playpen for the kindergarten kids and basically had lunch there by myself the next 3 years. Until one day, Josh came and sat next to me. Josh had just joined our class a few weeks ago, and he was a total babe. With all the popular girls drooling all over him, I was sure he wouldn't notice someone like me, which is why I was pretty shocked to find him here.
Why do you always have lunch alone?
Is this your first time in high school? Of course. I don't expect someone like you to get it. He took my hand and looked deep into my eyes.
I don't understand why someone as adorable as you is here either.
I was so annoyed at how fast that made my heart beat. After that, Josh and I became really good friends. He'd always invite me to watch his football games and started coming over to my place for study dates. Since he'd joined so late, he needed to do a lot of catching up, and I was more than happy to help. I hated to admit it. I just had the biggest crush on him. The annual spring dance was around the corner, and it was all anyone could talk about at school. All the girls were yapping nonstop about their dresses and who they'd be going with. Of course, I was hoping Josh would ask me out, but when he didn't, I decided I didn't need to wait around like a sappy Disney princess. I'd ask him out myself. I bought tickets for the opening show of the new Avengers movie. Just as we were about to enter the theater, one of the cinema staff stopped me.
Hey, little girl,
You can't go in. That's a PG-13 movie. I'm almost 16. Here, look at my ID. We see fake IDs all the time, kid. Sorry, but I can't let you go. And with that, he pushed me out of line and refused to listen to me anymore. I can't believe this. Let's go then. Go? I mean, what's the point of wasting both the tickets? We'll still have dinner together, okay? And just like that, he turned and went inside. I was furious. I couldn't even go anywhere because he'd driven me here. When he finally came out after 3 hours, he was practically jumping with excitement. OMG, that was epic. Iron Man snapped his fingers and died, but he saved the world. He'd not only watched the movie without me, he'd ruined it for me completely. I thought maybe the rest of the evening would go a little better, but boy was I wrong. At the end of the meal, when the waitress brought us our fortune cookies, I looked over excitedly at Josh to open his and read the little note inside. Will you be my date for the spring dance, Josh? He looked up at me in complete shock. Petra, I don't know how to say this, but, no. How could you even think that? You're more like a little sister to me. I've already asked Jessica out. Man, you've really made things awkward. I felt so utterly crushed and stupid. I flung a glass of water in his face. I wish I could snap my fingers right now and make you disappear. And with that, I ran out of there and took the bus home. Nobody was more grateful than me when stupid high school ended and I was off to college. It wasn't too far from my town, so my parents could visit me often or come bail me out every time an officer thought I was an underage driver. Gosh, this is the 3rd time this month. Why are you police officers so dumb? Can't you see I have a real license? She doesn't mean that, officer. Come on, sweetie, let's go. My parents always had my back, but no one understood how frustrating it was for me to be treated like a kid all the time. Until I met Andrew. In my 2nd year at university, I took up a job as a professor's assistant for one of the courses. I knew the other students made fun of me behind my back. But one day, they went really overboard. The professor was unwell, and I was taking the class in his place. As soon as I turned my back to the board, I got hit by a dozen paper balls. I turned around to see everyone snickering. I'm your teacher. Didn't your parents teach you any respect? You're not our teacher. You can't even reach the top of the board without standing on a stool. Go back to school, loser. You can't behave this way with me. I want everyone who's responsible to apologize right now. Or you'll do what? Go crying to your mommy? I'll fail you in every single assignment. You do remember I grade them, right? Oh no, I'm scared. Miss Petra, will you forgive me if I give you a lollipop? That's it. Get out. Happy to. Come on, guys, let's go. We don't need to take orders from some high school smarty pants. And just like that, the whole class walked out. I tried to keep my cool, but when everyone had left, I burst into angry tears. Just then, I felt a gentle tap on the shoulder, and I looked up to see that it was Andrew, one of the students. I'm really sorry about the way they treated you. I think you're really smart and beautiful. We became friends, and soon after, we started dating. He was just the sweetest guy, and even though he looked much older than me, he was never ashamed to hold my hand in public, even if it got us weird looks. A few weeks later, I had an internship interview in another city, and Andrew offered to see me off at the airport. Just as I was leaving, he took my hand. Good luck, babe. I hope you get it, but I'll really miss you. And with that, he pulled me in for our first kiss. My head was still spinning with joy when suddenly I saw a few policemen walking towards us. Sir, please move away from the kid. What's the problem, officer? We've recently had many reports of a gang kidnapping young girls, and you need to come down to the station with us to answer a few questions. Wait, what? He's not a kidnapper. He's my boyfriend, and I'm 20 years old. The policeman didn't listen to a word we said, and we were taken down to the station. My parents had to come down again with my birth certificate and baby pictures before they finally let us go. It turned out that the people at the airport had been making videos of the whole thing, and it had gone viral on social media, with people saying all sorts of mean things about me and Andrew. And to make things worse, the company I had an interview with wasn't happy that I didn't show up, so I lost the internship too. I was beyond furious now. I took to social media myself and posted a video talking about how I'd always been discriminated against because of the way I looked. The video went viral and I started receiving a lot of sympathy messages and support. The public pressure made the police issue an official apology, and the company even offered me the internship again. But my condition had really sparked an interest in the public, and I was being invited to tons of TV and online interviews. All everyone wanted to know was the secret of my youth. Soon enough, I realized that people envied me. One morning, I picked up the local newspaper from the door and was horrified to see my face splashed across the front page with the headline, "Girl Discovers Secret to Eternal Youth."
Babe, come here and look outside the window.
To my shock, there was a massive crowd of people outside our apartment building, and the minute they spotted me in the window, they started screaming. "Have you discovered the fountain of youth? Tell us where it is. What do you eat to look so young? I'll pay anything for it."
With your anti-aging formula for youthful skin, we can become millionaires. Come work for our skincare company.
This was complete madness, and I had to put an end to it. I opened the window, and everybody became quiet to hear what I had to say. Listen, there is no secret. It's a condition I've always had, and it's not a blessing. I've never had anyone take me seriously my whole life. I spent all of high school being bullied. My message to everyone is that we all need to learn to be happy in our own skins and accept everyone as they are. Thankfully, the message spread far and wide, and people didn't bother me again. But I still became pretty famous and was regularly called for talks on self-acceptance and against bullying. I'm married to Andrew now, and we have 2 young kids. And secretly, I really don't mind at all when someone says I don't look like a mom.
And now there's still more
I'm
videos.
Mary Ann from a small town in Austria. A few years ago, I accidentally discovered that I'm adopted, and my dad doesn't know I know. Since then, all I've wanted is to find my real parents. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. I never knew my mom, but I grew up with the most amazing dad. He worked as a carpenter, and even though we never had much money, I had everything I needed. And what I needed most were books. Dad would read to me every night, and I became obsessed. When I joined school and discovered the library, I felt like I'd gone to heaven. And I always preferred my friends from stories over real people. In 6th grade, I needed to use the dictionary. So I went to Dad's room and climbed a stool to take it down from the shelf. Just then, the stool under me wobbled, and I went crashing to the floor with some books. As I started picking everything up, I saw something that left me shook. It was a picture of a couple holding a baby, and the woman looked exactly like me. She had to be my mom, and the man next to her was my real dad? I turned the picture over, and all it said was, Vienna 2005. That was my birth year. Were my real parents in Vienna? I snuck the picture into my pocket. Dad had kept it a secret, and I had to know why. I was waiting to confront Dad that evening, but he didn't come home. Hours passed, and he wouldn't even pick up his phone. Just then, there was a loud knock on the door, and it was Dad's friends from work, bringing him on a wheelchair. Oh my God, Dad, what happened? He'd had a terrible fall at work and wasn't allowed to walk for months. And even after he fully recovered, he had a permanent limp now. I put aside all thoughts of confronting him about my real parents. I didn't want to make things harder for him. Once in the 8th grade, I'd gone with Dad to the market when suddenly he got a cramp in his leg and lost his balance. He went crashing straight into a wealthy-looking man who in turn fell onto a food seller's stall, bringing down the whole thing with him. As I helped Dad up, the wealthy man turned to him furiously.
You blind, ignorant man. Look what you've done. My suit is ruined. Do you know what it costs? More than your house, I'm sure.
Don't talk to my father like that. He didn't do it intentionally. He has an injured leg.
So why is this cripple going around causing trouble for everyone else? I want the money for my suit.
You may have all the wealth in the world, sir, but you certainly don't have any compassion. My father's ailments is something he can't help. But what's your excuse for your cold, unfeeling, dead heart?
Hey, kid, just shut up and...
But just then, a rich-looking lady stepped forward.
Don't talk like that to the child.
Will this solve your problem? She waved a thick bundle of cash in his face. In 2 seconds, the man's anger was gone. The rich lady even gave money to the stall owner, and she offered to take me and Dad home. We invited her in, and soon after, she said something completely unexpected. I'm so impressed with you, Marianne. And this might sound strange, but would you like to come live with me in Vienna? I would love to send you to a really good school. Vienna? That's where my real parents were from. This was my chance to look for them. She even said she'd hire Dad as a handyman on her estate. I was really eager to go, and within a week, we'd packed up our lives and moved. The lady's estate was 5 times larger than my school, and Dad and I were given a small cottage to live in. And just a few days later, the lady told me I'd be joining her daughter's school. On my first day, as I walked up to the lady's car, a girl suddenly pushed me aside. Ooh, maid, where do you think you're going? Go clean something. Where are your manners, Lisa? This is the amazing girl I told you about, and I'd like you two to be friends. Oh, she's your charity case? She looks like her only friends would be cows and baby goats. And what is so distasteful about being friends with such lovely creatures, may I ask? No. You may not ask me anything. Who talks like that, freak? She got in and slammed the door shut. I just stayed silent during the ride, but then suddenly, Lisa made the driver stop. I'm not gonna be seen with you. You can walk the last few blocks. She pushed me out and drove off. What a witch! Just as I was crossing the road, a sports car came speeding and stopped inches away from me. A cute boy stepped out from the back seat and shouted,
Hey, watch where you're going, loser.
Wow, who were these people? Turns out the jerk was in my class along with Lisa. I could see them all looking me up and down, but I just ignored them. Later at recess, I sat alone reading. The boy took a seat at my table with his friends behind him.
I don't think I introduced myself before. I'm Vincent. What's your name?
You can call me whatever you like. After all, what's in a name?
Huh? What are you saying?
Would a rose smell less sweet if it was named garbage? Would a fire not burn us if it was called a flower? Would I be less annoyed by you if my name wasn't Marianne? The answer is no.
Why are you talking like that, weirdo? So, your name's Marianne? That's kind of pretty.
You don't need to remember it. I don't think we'll have much to do with each other. And with that, I just left. Aw, poor Vincent. How does it feel to be rejected by a girl?
Oh, please. I just need a little time with her, and she'll be head over heels in love. I can work my magic on any girl.
Well, I'm not so sure about this one.
Challenge accepted.
It was no surprise that Vincent and Lisa were best friends, and their gang was the meanest bunch of kids around. I'd see them picking on smaller kids at recess or poking fun at their classmates. They didn't even spare the teachers. So I was horrified when the physics teacher announced that I'd be paired with Vincent for a project. But he looked delighted. I tried ignoring him and was reading the science book to figure out something when suddenly he snatched it from me.
Why are you always staring at a book when you could be looking at more beautiful things? Like me.
I don't have time for your nonsense, Vincent. Give that back.
Okay, but only if you agree to go out with me.
I'd rather jump off a cliff.
Wrong answer.
And with that, he ripped some pages out and threw the book in the trash bin. What is the matter with you? Don't you have any respect for anyone or anything? God, you're such an imbecile.
Why do you use such strange words? An what now?
An imbecile. It means a fool, an idiot, a dummy, a moron. I pushed him away and he went crashing into our half-finished project, but I didn't even care. There was no way I was working with him. A few days later, I was walking back home when suddenly it started to pour heavily. As I dashed through the rain, a car stopped me, and Vincent rolled down the window.
Hey, you're gonna get sick. Get in the car.
I'd rather catch pneumonia.
Oh my God.
Just get in. Hate me later. Reluctantly, I got in, and a minute later, we were driving up to his gigantic mansion. He quickly led me to the fireplace in the library, and my mouth was just wide open. I've never seen so many books in one place in my whole life. What a treasure this is.
Well, you're welcome to take some. I don't read them, and my parents are hardly ever here.
I felt a bit sorry for him. That sounded lonely. And suddenly, I remembered something. Oh my God, my parents' picture. I dug through my pockets to find it all wet, and I started flapping it around to dry it.
What's that, and why are you acting crazy?
It's the only picture I have of my real parents. I told him how I'd discovered it and that I carried it around with me, hoping I'd find them somewhere.
I think I could help you with that. My parents know a good private investigator. He could probably track them down.
Do you really mean that? That would be amazing. Thank you so much. As we spent some time talking, I felt myself warming up to Vincent. When he walked me out to go home with his driver, I suddenly turned to him. Vincent, why do you act that way in school?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have everything in the world, and you're wasting every opportunity to learn. And all you do is tease and mock other people. I'm sure your life isn't perfect, but that's not an excuse to be the worst version of yourself most of the time. I thought he'd be really mad, but instead, he took my hand.
I'm sorry you've only seen the worst of me. I'll try to change that.
He kissed me on the cheek before he turned away, and for some reason, I couldn't stop smiling all the way home. As I was walking down to the cottage, Lisa suddenly jumped out from behind a tree. Is that Vincent's car you just got off from? Why? It's none of your business, Lisa. Vincent is very much my business. I know you have a wild imagination, but don't start dreaming that someone like him could ever like you. I pushed her aside and walked off. She was crazy, as if I wanted someone like Vincent. Or did I? He was just so nice after that day. He'd come sit next to me in the cafeteria, help me carry my stuff, and one time as I was walking back home, he leapt out of a car and decided to walk with me. He told me the investigator was hopeful we'd find my parents really soon. And a few days later, when he asked me to be his date for the Christmas dance at school, I really couldn't refuse. Dad had surprised me one evening with the most beautiful dress, and at the dance, I felt like someone straight out of a fairy tale. I was searching for Vincent in the hall when I felt a gentle tap on my shoulder.
Wow, you look really beautiful, Marianne.
He took my hand and led me to the dance floor, and it felt like we were in our own little world. At the end of the song, he suddenly pulled me closer and leaned in to kiss me. Everyone around us was clapping and cheering as I kissed him back. During the evening, I went to freshen up in the bathroom, and when I returned, I found Vincent in a corner with Lisa and his friends. Wow, Vincent, you really take a challenge seriously. You said you could make any girl fall for you, and you proved it. That kiss could have fooled even me. Marianne has totally fallen for your Prince Charming act. It's gonna be so much fun when you dump her. That's what I was? A challenge? Vincent looked shocked as they all turned around to see me behind them.
No, Marianne, wait. It's not what you...
I suddenly slapped him hard. Why did I think you were actually a decent human being? You even pretended to help me find my parents just to convince me that you cared? You're the most vile person I've had the misfortune to meet. I hate you. No, I despise you. I didn't go to school for days. I just didn't want to see anyone's face. But one day, Dad walked into my room holding a package.
A boy from your school dropped this, saying it was important. Forgive me for opening it first, but Marianne, you've known about your parents and you've been looking for them?
Wait, what? Dad, I'm sorry. I just needed to know. He gave me the package as he sat down on my bed, and I looked through the papers with trembling hands. The first was a newspaper clipping saying my parents were politicians who had been sentenced to prison for 25 years for stealing state funds.
I worked at your parents' house. When they were arrested, you were going to be sent to an orphanage. And I just really wanted a kid, so I adopted you, Marianne. I kept the truth from you because I thought it would only make you upset. I'm sorry if I haven't been the best dad.
I jumped forward and hugged him, tears pouring down my face. No, you're the most amazing dad anyone could possibly have. I just wanted to know who they were. But it's not because I've ever been unhappy with you as my father. Not ever. Dad hugged me back.
If you ever want to see them, I'll arrange a visit, okay? It won't bother me at all. I know you're my daughter. By the way, that boy just left if you want to talk to him.
I ran out the door after Vincent, who was walking down to the gate. Why did you do that? Your stupid challenge was over, right? Why did you make an effort to find my parents?
Marianne, it did start off as a stupid challenge, and I wasn't planning on falling for you, but I did, almost instantly. What I feel for you is real and true. I wouldn't have made all that effort if I didn't love you. You're the most special girl I've ever met, and you make me want to be a better person. I'm so sorry for hurting you.
2 hours
Please
of
forgive
MSA
me.
videos.
Will you?
I looked into his
I've
earnest
been
eyes
watching
and
MSA
slowly
videos
smiled.
for 2
I'd rather go down
hours.
with the Titanic, but I stepped closer and pulled him in for a kiss.
I've been watching MSA for 2 hours, guys. And I've been recording. Next video.
Hi, my name is Aura, and I'm from
I'm
Texas.
becoming a billionaire.
Please like and subscribe. I live with my granny, and she's pretty much the only person I'm close with on this planet. After my mom and dad passed away, she took me in and raised me. But growing up, I didn't have many friends. I was always focused on my studies, and that's how I was able to bag a scholarship to one of the finest schools in the city. But things took a wild turn in the 10th grade. It all started when I decided to ride my bicycle to school one day. But just as I was about to park it, I tripped over something, and my bicycle went crashing into a car nearby. Shoot! The car looked really expensive, and now it had a dent the size of an elephant. I was the queen of broke people. I'd never be able to pay for the damage. I had to get out of here. But just then, 2 evil-looking shadows showed up behind me, and one of them caught me. Look at that. She ruined your car, and now she's running from the crime scene. Holy Jesus, not the terrible 2. Jacob and Adam were the 2 richest and hottest kids in school. But everyone was scared of them because they were really big bullies. And now I rammed their car. This was the worst day ever. I wasn't running, and I didn't ruin it on purpose. I just accidentally... Oh, Kitty. Accidentally or not, you're gonna have to pay for this. Well, listen, man, I can't pay for it. You want my bicycle? You can have that. You're making jokes now? You better arrange the money or else. Oh, God, what was I gonna do about these bullies? And just then I remembered I'd seen them bullying a kid really badly after school recently. So I just blurted out, I know your secret, and I'm gonna tell it to the principal. What secret? I know what you guys did last Monday. For a second, they looked stunned, but then Jacob screamed, What? How? How do you know that? Judging from their freaked out faces, I could tell it was something else, and something really big that they'd done, and they thought I knew? This was perfect. Well, I'm not gonna tell you here. I'll tell you in front of the principal. Let's go now. No. Wait, we can talk this out. Yeah, and you don't need to pay for anything. Here, let me check if your bike's broken. I'll buy you a new one, as many as you want. We'll do anything you say. We'll be your errand boys, but please, just don't tell anyone. What in the father freaking world? The 2 most powerful senior guys in school were totally at my mercy, and I didn't even know why. But I pretended to keep it cool because I didn't want them to know I was bluffing. Sure, then how about you start with carrying my bag? It's so heavy, my hand hurts. As I went around school that day with these 2 acting like my personal bodyguards, kids were looking at me like I was a magician who had the terrible 2 wrapped around my finger. The next day, as I stepped out of my house, Jacob was already waiting for me in his brand new car. This was just getting better. Hey, I'm here to pick you up. So tell me, do you want to go to the beach today or the movies? What? No. I want to go to school and attend my classes. I have to submit my assignments next week. Aw, come on, Aura. You should enjoy yourself and not study so hard. Adam can do your assignments. He does mine all the time. No big deal. That sounded good, but I wasn't sure if I trusted them enough to hang out with them outside school. What if they planned to kidnap me because of whatever their stupid secret was? So I insisted on going to school. When we reached there, they kept following me around. At first, it felt like I was some princess. But as the day went by, I realized this was a big problem. I had ballet practice after lunch, and just as I entered the girls' changing room, all the girls started screaming. When I turned around, I was stunned to see those 2 morons had followed me in. Have you both lost it? This is the girls' changing room. All the more reason for us to be here, right, Adam? I pushed them out and locked the door from inside. But when I went to the dancing room, they were already there, dressed in ballerinas' clothes and dancing like toads. What the frickin' crabs? What are you guys doing? You don't have to follow me everywhere. Yes, we do. We can't risk it. What if you go and tell the principal behind our backs? I won't do that. Well, guess what? We don't trust you. They just wouldn't leave. And when it was my time to perform, they both started cheering and hooting like they were my craziest fans. What could be the big secret that was making them do all these things to keep me from going to the principal? But as much as I wanted to know, I wanted to get rid of them too. The next day, I left home before they could get here, And even at school, I was on my toes watching out for them. Then during lunchtime, this football jock at school, who I had a huge crush on, came and sat next to me. You're the popular girl who tamed those rich brats, and I'm impressed. I like strong and dominating girls like you. How about we go out? Adam picked him up by the collar and threw him out of the seat. How about I give you a taste of strong and dominating guys? Adam, stop! What are you doing? As soon as Adam let him go, he just ran away. Ugh, why did you do that? He was gonna ask me out. He asks everyone out. He's a jerk. Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? You're the bigger jerk here. With that, I pushed him aside and stormed out of there angrily. Later that day, I was in the library when I saw that football jock kissing some girl behind a bookshelf. Adam was right. He really was a jerk. I picked up a book and tossed it right at his head. Ouch. Well, he deserved it. After that, I went back to solving my math assignment, but I was getting none of the answers correct. Easy there, Tigress. Let me help you with those. Help me? Do you even know the... Whoa, how did you do that? I was stunned that this guy who looked like he probably bought his grades with his dad's money was actually good at studying. He helped me with my assignments, and honestly, I was starting to
Stop
feel
buying
that
your
he
grades.
wasn't so bad
Just
after all.
fuck up.
Just as I was about to
Baby, what
apologize for
the
calling him a
fuck?
jerk earlier, Jacob barged into the library. Thanks for keeping an eye on her while I was away. Of course, Adam was just here to babysit me. I felt so dumb thinking he might be nice 2 seconds ago. So, who's ready to go and watch the new Spider-Man movie? OMG, I'd been waiting for this movie for months. I screamed so loud with excitement that the librarian kicked us all out. Later that evening, when we stepped out of the movies, it was pretty chilly. Suddenly, Adam took off his jacket and wrapped it around me. Such a good actor he was. I knew if it wasn't for their secret, he wouldn't care even if I was screaming for help. Soon after, he ran ahead to get the car, and that's when Jacob took my hand and suddenly pulled me close. Whoa, what are you doing? Oh, come on. I can clearly see you're interested in me. That's why you're playing the blackmail game, to keep me close. What? In your dreams? That attitude of yours, it's just got me going crazy for you, babe. How about you give me a kiss now? This jerk! I was about to push him really hard when suddenly Adam pulled him away and punched him hard in the face. Jacob landed on his butt. How dare you touch her? What the heck, dude? Did you forget who you are? You're a stinky, low-life rat who lives off my leftovers. And how dare you touch me? Low-life rat? What was he talking about? I know who I am, but don't you dare touch her again. Because if you do, I'll shove those leftovers down your throat. Whoa! It seemed like Adam was a whole different person. He took my hand and then we both left from there. All the way back home, he didn't say a word, and I could feel there was something about him that I didn't know. I was getting more and more curious. When we reached home, I handed him his jacket back, and I just couldn't stop myself. Adam, why did Jacob say all those things about you? I mean, you're rich too. No, I'm not, Aura. I know it looks like that because I'm always hanging out with Jacob, but I'm a poor nobody. I don't really understand. My dad used to work for Jacob's dad, but he passed away a few years back, and I have a sick mom to take care of. Jacob convinced his dad to take us in, and he helps me with money. But basically, since then, I have to do everything he asks me to do. Oh boy, my heart sank listening to that, and suddenly, I just hugged him tight. Thanks for doing what you did for me today, Adam, and I'm sorry. Don't be. He totally deserves it, but I really wish you'd never seen us do it. And then you wouldn't be involved with jerks like us. Seen what? Suddenly, he looked at me with surprise. The secret. He was talking about the big secret. Oh, yeah, totally saw that. Wait a second. You don't know what it is, do you? Now that I think about it, you never really mentioned it because you don't know what it is. I panicked, and then you guys assumed I knew your secret. Aura, how can you even do something like this, knowing how bad Jacob is? If he knows you don't know, he'll... Oh, God, I can't believe this. He stormed off angrily, and now my heart was pumping like crazy for what was going to happen next. The next day, when I reached school, I saw Adam was still hanging out with Jacob, but his face was full of bruises, like someone had hit him really bad. Of course, it was Jacob. Later, when Adam was all alone in the boys' washroom, I went in. Why are you letting him treat you this way? I know it's Jacob who beat you up. What are you doing here? And I told you, I owe him. Just stay out of it. I don't want you getting hurt. But you're willing to get hurt all alone? This is wrong, Adam. You can't let him ruin your life like this. What he's doing to you and the other kids around school, this has to stop. Yes, but there's nothing I can do. You can. You've always been with him. You know everything he does. You can go and tell the principal all about it. But I was there with him in everything he did. I helped him. If I rat him out, I'll be out of school and I'll be on the streets with my mom. Just then, Jacob came out of nowhere and pinned me against the wall. So, you're planning to ruin me, huh? You have no idea who you're messing with, little birdie. And you have no idea who you're messing with, you ugly crow. I smashed my head hard into his face and he fell to the floor crying in pain. Adam grabbed my hand and we ran out of there. I'm going to the principal. You're right. I can't be a coward and let him hurt everyone like this, especially you, Aura. I'll deal with the outcomes later. I'll be right there with you. We went into the principal's office and Adam confessed everything, from Jacob's bullying incidents to the biggest secret of all. After the principal had told Jacob he was going to fail in most of his subjects, Jacob trashed the principal's brand new car one evening. He smashed the windows and the lights and spray painted all over it with Adam's help. The principal immediately called Jacob in and said he was going to be expelled. Since Adam had confessed everything, he was going to be suspended for a while and made to do volunteer work. And suddenly, Jacob went bonkers on Adam. You filthy moron. I fed you and you backstabbed me. You're done too, Adam. Even if you aren't expelled, you can't stay in this school without me paying your fee. And your mom? Who's gonna pay for her treatments now? It would have been better if you had kept following my orders like a loyal puppy. And now, you're doomed. And that's when Jacob's dad walked in, looking horrified. That's enough. I had no idea I was raising such a brat. How dare you exploit this poor kid? Adam, don't you worry, son. I'm here for you. Dad, I'm so sorry. Not a word. Your principal told me everything on the phone, and the rest I've heard myself. I'm sending you to an army school right away. Jacob kept begging his dad, but it didn't seem like it was going to work in his favor. When Adam and I walked out of the room, I turned to him and said, "How do you feel?" Never been better. Thanks to you, Aura, I was able to be brave. I'm just so happy things will be better for you. So now
there's
that
two
there's
last
no secret,
videos
are
because
you
it's
still gonna be
like
nice to
2
me?
hours.
Yeah, I'll carry your bag every day. And then he pulled me in for a kiss. I just finished 5 photo shoots in London, attended a fashion show in Paris, done an interview for Vogue Italia, and now my exhausted body was about to have some pampering in the fanciest hotel in Greece, all by myself. Suddenly, I heard a loud bang in my room. I went to go check what it was, and I was shocked to see one of my luggage bags moving. I slowly opened it, and a creepy stranger suddenly sprang out from it while sniffing my favorite dress. My bodyguards rushed as I screamed in horror. This is a serious invasion of my privacy. Take him away right now. Iris, I'm begging you. Just one kiss and a selfie. I'm your #1 fan. Oh, please. Can I ever get a freaking break? Hi, my name is Iris, and I'm a famous supermodel with a billionaire boyfriend. It might sound like every teenage girl's dream, but for me, it was my worst nightmare. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. The hotel incident was circulating on the news in no time, and as soon as I reached my parents, they immediately fired my bodyguards. I forced my manager to clear my schedule for a week so I could just breathe, but the universe literally said no. While I was doing yoga in my room, someone suddenly barged in. It was my new boyfriend, Rocco. He was the son of an A-list actor, and he seemed pretty cool. Not to mention, really, really hot. Rocco, what are you doing here? It's been 8 minutes since my last chat. Why aren't you replying? You came all the way here just for that? No, I came here to do this. Will you marry me? What the freaking crabs? Are you crazy? We'd been dating for like 5 days.
You made me believe you loved me.
I don't even know your eye color, Rocco. Suddenly, he started bawling like a baby on the floor.
Oh my God, my heart, it hurts so bad.
What the heck are you doing?
I love you, Iris. I won't leave until you say yes.
He really meant it, and I had to have him thrown out by security. After all the crazy incidents with the paparazzi and my fans, Rocco was the last straw, and I'd finally had enough. I was tired of being worshipped and followed because I was a famous model. One day, as I was watching my favorite channel, MSA, I came across a video of a model who got plastic surgery to change her identity. It would be amazing to just disappear and return as a completely different person. Wait, that was actually a great idea. I tried on a black wig with bangs to cover my eyes, changed my eye color from blue to green, threw in some makeup and baggy clothes, and I couldn't even recognize myself. Mom screamed upon seeing me and almost reported me as a trespasser. I told him about my plan of giving up my career and identity for a while, and Dad told me I was crazy. No, Dad, I'm not. I just want to be a normal girl living a normal life with no bodyguards and obsessed fans around me 24/7. I want to live somewhere else that no one knows about. I've been homeschooled all my life, and now I want to go to an actual school and have friends. Please, let me have this. I'm begging you. They were speechless for a whole minute.
Do as you please, sweetheart.
Take a break for as long as you want. You deserve it. Dad?
Fine, but on one condition. I'll choose the apartment for you, and you have to take at least 2 maids with you.
Deal. And just like that, I was off to a new chapter in my life as the cool and mysterious Siri. As I was walking towards the school building on my first day, I suddenly stopped upon seeing a scary dog in the middle of the road. And when it started to chase me, suddenly a skateboard came flying into the air, scaring it away. Gosh, that was close. I turned to my savior, and he was cute. Hey there, thanks for saving my life.
What? I was just doing a backflip and my skateboard slipped.
You still saved my life. What's your name?
You're not my type, sweet cakes, so move on.
Wait, did he just reject me? Well, that was something new. I had never felt so lost when I finally got into the school building. Everyone was wearing Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Hermes, and Prada, and they were all fake. Was this an actual school or an amateur fashion club? And everyone was looking at me like I was wearing something disgusting. Was it because of my oversized hoodie? But I had to look as different as I possibly could from my original self. When I finally got into my class, no one even glanced at me. For the first time, I felt invisible, and I wasn't complaining. I headed to an empty seat, but before I could finally sit, a girl put gum on it. I don't sit with losers. Me? A loser? Huh? Just then, a familiar guy came in. It was the skater boy. Hey, do you remember me? We met earlier today.
Are you stalking me? Just give it up, sweet cakes.
I was already here, and my name isn't Sweet Cakes, it's Siri.
So, you're like the real-life Siri, iPhone's virtual assistant?
I just spelled my name backward for this identity, and that hadn't even crossed my mind.
Hey guys, we got the real-life Siri over here.
Then they all started making fun of my fake name, and it was so annoying. Hey Siri, can I eat my shoes without dying?
Hey Siri, would a worm eat a dead worm?
I put my headphones on, but Skater Boy took them off.
Why aren't you answering our questions? Are you glitching or something?
Haven't you heard of the latest Apple update? Siri won't answer stupid questions from now on.
I didn't know Siri was actually feisty.
Just then, a familiar girl entered, and her eyes went straight to me. OMG, what a terrible day to have eyes. That outfit is horrible. Someone take this new girl out of this room right now.
Stop acting like you're the fashion queen, Peyton. Remember how you got rejected for a commercial and never made it as a model? And your tantrum video went viral?
Those people were just blind. I couldn't believe they chose that trash Iris over me. She stole my place.
Iris is not trash. Iris is a goddess.
Wait, Iris? Sorry to butt in, but are you guys talking about the supermodel? Yes, the worst supermodel of all time. Oh, now I remembered this girl. She'd auditioned with me for the commercial that launched my career, and she'd thrown a huge tantrum when she wasn't selected. And Skater Boy actually had a crush on me. How interesting. Soon, I learned that his name was Marcus. He was living in the same neighborhood as mine, and he was famous for his pranks. One time, he brought a freaking cow to school and left it at the top of the stairs. No one knew how he managed to do it. Another time, he stole the teacher's necklace and replaced it with a fake snake, and she literally passed out. He was insane. One day in the library, I was trying to get a book from a higher shelf, but I couldn't reach it, and he suddenly appeared behind me.
You need help?
Yes, please. I need that book over there. To my surprise, he transferred it to the very top shelf instead and walked off. Ugh, he was really something else. It was lunchtime and I was starving. As a model, I was always on a very strict diet, but now I could eat whatever I wanted. No one wanted to sit with me, so I chose a table at the corner. And just then, Marcus came over with his friends.
This is our table. Go away.
Sorry, I didn't see your name on it. Can't we share it?
We can, but on one condition. You have to clean my skateboard later. I ran over a huge pile of poop.
No thanks. I'd rather eat on the floor. And with that, I did what I said, and everyone looked so confused. Marcus started calling me a weirdo since then. Over the next few days, I noticed that Peyton kept spreading fake information about me, the model Iris. She obviously hated me and wanted everyone to join the club. I heard that her breath smells like cat's poop and her head is full of dandruff, and all her boyfriends ditched her because she's too clingy. Oh my god, ew, why is she even a model? You're way better than her, girl. I know, right? So unfair. I don't deserve this. I was about to say something, but someone did it for me first.
Stop farting through your mouth, Peyton. Those are all lies.
Truth hurts, darling. I heard she quit modeling. Maybe she finally realized she isn't anything special. Yet somehow she's a famous supermodel with tons of fans, and you've got this lame haters club in school. You seem obsessed with her. Marcus burst out laughing and shouted,
You tell her, weirdo.
while Peyton looked furious. I thought she'd rip my hair out, but instead she just stormed off angrily. On my way to class the next day, a girl bumped into me and spilled her coffee all over my shirt right before a presentation. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. She offered to lend me her extra shirt in her locker, and I thought that was really nice of her. But in the middle of the presentation, I started scratching myself, and I couldn't stop. Soon, everyone was laughing like wild hyenas, including Marcus. When I saw my reflection, I could barely recognize myself. My skin was red and bloated. I looked like a pufferfish. Just then, I saw Peyton and that girl high-fiving. I knew they'd planned this. Oh, I was so gonna make her pay. I was then sent to the clinic, and the nurse told me to continue my treatment at home. Later that night, I was about to sleep when someone crashed through my window. I grabbed a bat to attack the intruder, and then I realized it was Marcus.
Relax, weirdo. It's just me.
Oh no, I didn't have my wig and contact lens on. I grabbed my shades and wrapped a pillowcase around my hair before facing him.
Why are you wearing that at midnight? You look like a stupid sushi roll.
I don't have to explain myself to you. Anyway, get out. You're trespassing.
Calm down, okay? I just wanted to give you this. An apology gift for laughing at you earlier.
I was about to smile when I realized that it was a pufferfish. Seriously?
Ow.
He then told me that he overheard Peyton and her friend talking about how they'd put some chemical on that shirt.
That was really uncool. Let's go to her house tonight and release tons of bugs in her room.
No, I don't like that kind of revenge. It's lame.
Tell me what's not lame then.
Oh, you'll know it tomorrow. The next day, I surprised everyone by wearing the most expensive Gucci hoodie and boots as I walked in the hallway like a fashion model. You think you're a star now just because you're wearing fake Gucci? Wake up, dummy. You're dreaming. Are you talking about yourself? I slapped her with the receipt of the items, and she suddenly forgot how to speak.
Dude, that was so cool. You literally ate that witch alive.
That's how you do it.
Teach me your ways, senpai.
Only if you'll stop making fun of me.
That's kind of hard, but I'll try.
Marcus and I became closer over the next few months. I always had fun with him, even when he talked about Iris 90% of the time. One time he took me to his place, and I was shocked to see how many posters he had of me. Just look at her. How can someone be that perfect? It's just unfair to every other girl. No one could ever measure up to her. Wow, he was beginning to sound as loco as Rocco. But at least there was no danger he'd ever be obsessed with Siri. One weekend we went to the park and he taught me some skateboarding tricks. As a model, I was always careful never to do anything that might get me injured. But this was really fun. And the very next second, the skateboard slipped from under my feet and I went flying backwards. But before my head could hit the ground, Marcus caught me. Whoa, easy there. You okay? His face was so close to mine as he looked down in concern, and I noticed for the first time how lovely his eyes were. Hello? You're kinda heavy, girl. Can you please try to stand up now? I immediately jumped to my feet. Heavy? I was model thin. Jerk. We skateboarded a bit more and then fell onto the grass to rest. Can I ask you a question, Marcus? You already asked, dummy. Why do you love Iris? I mean, how do you love a person when you haven't even met her? Is it just because she's pretty? 3 years back, my sister got sick, and in the hospital, this beautiful girl paid a visit to the kids there and gave them some gifts. I'll never forget how sweet and kind she was to my sister. I didn't know then that she was actually a supermodel, and since then, I started admiring her from afar. I told you, she's perfect. Oh. So he actually liked me for that and not just because I was pretty. And I felt like I wanted to tell him the truth about me, but I couldn't. Not yet. A few days later, some girls were drooling over a guy in the hallway, and I almost choked on my saliva when I realized who it was. Rocco. Oh my God, what was he doing here? I need to find Iris. My heart told me she was here. I could literally smell her. As I ran to the restroom, my wig got caught on something and it almost fell off. I quickly ran to the restroom and fixed it before anyone noticed. Phew. And then I called my dad to tell him about this. He suggested transferring to another school, but something was stopping me. I'd just settled in, and well, there was Marcus. But thank God Rocco was gone when I got out. A few days later, our drama club teacher decided to pair me with Marcus, and there was a scene where we had to kiss and we needed to practice it in front of everyone. Yuck. No way I'm kissing her. He then pretended to throw up. What's wrong with kissing me? It's not a big deal. I just don't want my lips to be tainted by yours. Excuse me? My lips are not poisonous or gross. The audience started chanting for us to kiss already, but he kept making lame excuses to delay it. Oh, the irony. He was obsessed with Iris, but allergic to Siri. And it was so confusing. Our teacher lost her patience, so we had no choice but to do it. I closed my eyes, and as his lips touched mine, I felt a storm of butterflies in my stomach. He immediately pulled away and yelled, "This is officially the worst day of my life." He was pissing me off. I just stormed off after drama class and ignored him all day. Later, when I was walking back home, he caught up with me. Hey, are you in a bad mood or something? You left without waiting for me. So? I can do whatever I want. You can't find your way home without me? What's the matter with you? Nothing. Can't a girl walk in peace? Oh, come on. Is it about the kiss? I'm sorry if I overreacted. It's not about that. But kissing me is not yuck, okay? There are tons of boys who'd love to kiss me. Oh yeah? Who'd want to kiss a weirdo like you? Oh, you have no idea, dude. So what? Did you actually want me to enjoy it? No, I didn't want you to, but yeah, you should have. I've been told I'm a really good kisser. Okay, let me try it again then. I was caught off guard when he suddenly pulled me into a very hot kiss. I was catching my breath as he finally let go of me. That was, wow. I didn't want to kiss you before because I wanted our first kiss to be special. He then turned around and left, leaving me completely stunned. I wasn't able to sleep that night because I couldn't stop thinking about our mind-blowing kiss. He liked me. The next day, he wasn't talking to me all day, and it was pure torture. Should I tell him the truth and admit my feelings for him now? I had to. Tonight. Unfortunately, Peyton got bored and threw a huge party. I learned that Marcus was going, so I did too, only to regret it instantly. Because just 10 minutes into the party, Peyton suddenly gathered everyone's attention. I prepared a little show for you guys. Are you ready to see it? She started showing pictures of me as Iris. Oh, so she was doing her smear campaigns during parties now? Did you guys know that this famous model, suddenly she splashed water on my face and took my wig off, has been here with us the whole time? Yes, I discovered your little secret in the bathroom one day. So you got bored of your perfect life and decided to fool us all? Oh my God! I met Marcus's eyes across the room and he looked super shocked. No, this couldn't be happening. Just then, the crowd went wild. And before they could jump on me, I ran out of her mansion and called Dad to take me home. The news instantly reached mainstream media, so I was forced to quit school and filed a restraining order against Rocco before he could come looking for me again. I'd been trying to contact Marcus to explain everything, but he never returned my calls and it was killing me. One day, my parents went on a business trip and I was left alone in our mansion. Just then, I heard someone yelling downstairs. I walked to the balcony and saw Marcus being held down by my bodyguards. Siri, Iris, whatever your name is, I just want to talk to you, please. Let go of him, boys. My heart was pounding hard as I met with him downstairs. Marcus, what are you doing here? He just threw a magazine in front of me and said, I want an autograph. Huh? Did he come here as a fan or what? I picked it up, and while I was signing it, he suddenly grabbed my hand and pulled me into a hug. I missed you so much. I missed you too, and I'm sorry for lying to you. I was supposed to tell you that day. There's no need to explain. You had your reasons. I understand. Then what took you so long to see me? I needed more time to think. I was so confused. I have always idolized Iris and always thought that she was the love of my life. But then you came as Siri and everything changed. I couldn't stop thinking about you since the first time I saw you. Really? For me, it was much later. Yeah, okay, whatever. Be the supermodel or the annoying weirdo, I don't care. As long as it's you. I love you. I love you too. Now, what should I call you? I haven't thought about that yet. As of now, just call me yours. I was doing my nail polish in my room when suddenly my boyfriend's head popped in from the window. Oh my goodness, what are you doing here? If Dad sees you, we're both dead. Just forget everyone. As long as we're together, we're gonna be okay. Do you trust me? I do trust you, my love, but just let me love you, and I will do everything to make you happy forever. I closed my eyes as he leaned in closer and closer. And cut! That's a wrap for today. Good job. But what about the kiss? Just then, Carson immediately let go of me and I fell on my butt. What the fudge? Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm a famous teen actress from LA. Please like and subscribe before I continue. Being paired up with Carson, the most popular teen actor right now, was finally my chance to have a successful movie. But unfortunately, getting closer to him was harder than I thought. After our scene, he went straight to his trailer to sanitize himself as if I had some disease. I asked the director why our kissing scene was cut, and he told me that Carson requested not to have any. But why? One of the staff leaked that information, and the news circulated online in no time. Unfortunately, it reached our school too, and this gave Dakota, a fellow actress and my arch nemesis, another reason to pester me. Hey Amanda, I heard Carson doesn't want to kiss you. How does it feel to be rejected by him? Because I can't relate to that. Oh, that's because the last time he kissed someone on screen, he got traumatized. It was you, right? Suddenly, she burst out laughing. Oh, honey, everyone saw how much he loved our kiss. It was romantic and passionate, and that's why our movie became a huge hit with the box office of $2.786 billion worldwide. It also made me gain 10 million followers on Instagram, plus 5 million shippers on Twitter, and wow, okay, whatever. Why don't you just wait and see until my movie comes out? We'll see about that then. And now, I felt even more challenged. Later that day while I was driving home, A delivery guy accidentally bumped his motorcycle against my trunk. Could this day get any worse? I walked out of my car to check the damage and was shocked to see a huge scratch. My poor baby! Look what you've done to her! Are you blind, or did my car suddenly turn invisible? I froze when the driver removed his helmet. He looked so beautiful. It's just a little scratch. I'm sure your baby won't die. A little scratch? You ruined her flawless skin. Just try putting one of your beauty creams on it. Do I look like someone you can joke with? He just shrugged his shoulders and left. Why was everyone so extra annoying today? When I got home, I immediately told my sister/manager, Alice, about my problem with Carson. She was 5 years older than me, and we'd been living together in a huge, fancy apartment for the past 3 years. I talked to his manager about it, and he told me that Carson's not up for a fake relationship to promote his movie. And he just doesn't want kissing scenes all the time. Our movie will do 10 times better if people believe we're a couple in real life too, with real chemistry. But he won't even kiss me in the movie. What should I do? He's the bigger star here. You're the one who needs him, so why don't you try making him fall for you? It's gonna be easy. You're a goddess. Who would say no to you? She was right. I could get any boy I wanted. And Carson was not an exception. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Could you get it for me? I ordered pizza for the two of us. When I opened the door, I was shocked to see who the delivery boy was. It's you! I'm sorry, but do I know you? Hello? You just ruined my car a few minutes ago. Oh, the dramatic brat. I'm so sorry, but I don't have the time for a little chit-chat right now. Dramatic brat? He then just left the pizza boxes and left. This guy was unbelievable. Just a few days later, I was in a coffee shop when I noticed some women squealing over a guy. My world stopped when I turned to see his face. It was the pizza boy again. I walked up to him and said, "Are you following me? Because this is not a frickin' coincidence anymore. This is a serious case of stalking, and I'm gonna report you to the police." Isn't it the other way around? I work here, so you're the one who's stalking me. Look, if you're a huge fan, just say so. No need to stalk me this way. I then took his phone and filled it with selfies and a video and gave him an autograph on a tissue paper. There. Are you happy now? Being a brat doesn't give you permission to take other people's things without their consent. So open the dictionary and search for the word respect. Want me to spell it for you? And with that, he deleted all my selfies on his phone and crumpled the paper right in front of me. I was speechless. I swore if I saw him again, I'd make him cry. I told Alice about him, and she just laughed at me. Maybe it's fate, the way you always run into him. More like bad luck. Well, is he cute? I paused for a second and imagined his face. To be honest, he was actually very, very attractive. But ew, no. He looks like a dinosaur. Okay, if you say so. I partied with some A-listers later that night, and when I got home, it was already midnight. As I walked up to my room, I suddenly bumped into something hard. It was definitely not Alice's chest. When I looked up, I almost screamed. It was that jerk. What are you doing here? Duh, I freaking live here. What are you doing here? Did you break in? What? No, I'm your new houseboy. What? First you're a pizza boy, then a barista, and now a houseboy? There's no way you can do all these jobs at once. Oh, believe it or not, but I'm actually good at everything. I then barged into Alice's room and yelled, "Of all the people, why did you hire that jerk? It was him I was talking about." Really? Fate is really something else. He also has hundreds of other jobs. We need someone who'll focus on us. Well, our offer is huge enough to make him quit all of his sidelines. He has an impressive resume, and I want to keep him. Does his presence affect you that much? Duh, of course not. Wait a minute. It was actually a good idea. If he worked here, I could easily get back at him for being so rude to me. The very next day, I learned that his name was Ross, and I started making his life hell. One time, I told him to cook me beef with broccoli and cheese. There you go. Oh, the beef looks kinda raw. Could you cook it a bit more, please? Sure. When he came back, I decided to tease him even more. Oh, I forgot. This is cheese, right? I'm lactose intolerant. Sure, I'll remove it. It'll just be broccoli then. Oh, these little trees. Poor Mother Nature. Some people are just so cruel. Okay, I'll remove them too. Now, do you want to eat the plate or what? Just cook me another dish. Or maybe, just get me McDonald's. He looked like a volcano that was about to erupt, and I was enjoying it. I continued giving him the hardest tasks for the next several days, but he was always able to do them well. One time, I told him to separate the sugar, coffee, and cream from a 3-in-1 coffee, and make sure that my bubble baths have a 42 degrees Celsius temperature, and he did it perfectly. There was no way he was perfect. I had to find his weakness. It was the weekend, and I took him shopping with me. I made him carry all the bags and run all of the errands, and he silently did everything. Soon, I noticed how tired he looked, and I felt like a brat. Are you hungry? Where do you want to eat? My treat. No thanks. I'll buy my own food using my hard-earned money rather than using your daddy's credit card. Just to be clear, my parents are billionaires, but I choose to live independently with my sister and use my own money for my acting jobs. I work hard too. I then ignored him and walked away. It was already nighttime when we were done, and while he was driving me home, I noticed an old woman selling some flowers on the street. I told him to stop the car and went out to buy all her flowers and gave her a huge tip. Suddenly, I noticed a familiar girl walking suspiciously on the side of the street. When I looked closer, I realized that it was Dakota. I told Ross to park the car somewhere, and we both followed her. We walked to an alley and stopped in front of an exit door of a club. Suddenly, Carson stepped out of it, and she immediately sprung on him. Ross and I hid behind a huge pile of boxes and peeked at them. Geez, I told you to stop stalking me. I'm not stalking you. I'm just following my heart. He pushed her away, but she started clinging to his leg like a pregnant snake. Date me, kiss me, love me. I'm begging you. I told you, I don't like you. But you kissed me and told me you loved me. Duh, we were acting back then. Let's make it real then. Oh my gosh, what a desperate witch. While I was taking a video of them, I suddenly tripped and fell on top of Ross. My world stopped as I gazed into his beautiful blue eyes. Dude, are you planning to move? You're heavy. Shh. I then got up and pretended that nothing had happened, but my heartbeat was in chaos. Now that I knew Carson wasn't into Dakota, I felt more confident about making him fall for me. So the next day during our filming, he was standing by the stairs, and I let myself fall on purpose so he'd catch me. But to my surprise, another person caught me instead. You look so dumb doing that on purpose. Ross, what are you doing here? You forgot this. I also brought you lunch, just in case. Oh, wow. That was actually sweet of him. Just then, Carson turned to us, and he looked kind of mad. Haven't seen this dude around on set before. Is he your boyfriend, Amanda? No, he's not. Wait a minute. Was he jealous? Ross stepped in and said, I'm her houseboy, so don't worry, man. She's all yours. And with that, he just left, and I felt a bit annoyed at his indifference. But since then, Carson started treating me differently. He was talking to me more, and it gave a boost to our acting chemistry. Was he threatened by Ross? I knew it. No one could resist my charms. The next day at school, I was taking some notes from my locker when suddenly Dakota started talking loudly on her phone. Oh, hey Carson. Oh yes, I missed you too. Oh, you want to see my beautiful, perfect face later? Sure. I can't wait to see you too, my love. Just then, her minions started squealing like hyenas. Oh my god. So are you two like dating now? Wow. He told me he missed working with me. He's probably bored with his current movie girlfriend. I wanted to laugh. If only she knew that I had a video of her desperation. But I didn't have plans of leaking it. I wasn't that kind of person. Later that day, Alice told me to invite Carson out for dinner. There will be lots of paparazzi in this restaurant tonight. You guys need to stage a kiss or something. Luckily, Carson agreed, and while we were eating, I pretended to be totally into him. I delicately wiped his lips with a napkin, and I laughed at everything he said. When we got out of the restaurant, I decided that it was time. I closed my eyes, pouted my lips, and leaned in. But to my surprise, He deliberately stepped aside and I hit my forehead on the lamppost behind him. I looked so stupid as the paparazzi attacked me with their cameras. When I went home that night, I was really upset. Carson embarrassed me in front of everyone, and my career was over. I sat on the poolside and just cried my heart out. Soon, someone offered his hanky, and when I looked up, it was Ross. He sat beside me and just joined me in silence. And his presence was oddly comforting. You can talk to me, you know. I promise. I won't be rude this time. I just chuckled, and soon I found myself ranting to him. I've been trying to make it big, but success seems to hate me. Every movie of mine for the past 2 years has been a flop. If this doesn't do well, I'm just gonna quit. And I need stupid Carson for this one to be successful.
Maybe you don't. You're a very good actress, Amanda. Your talent is enough.
Then why do my movies always flop?
Success is not earned overnight. You're still young. Everyone has their own timing. Just continue doing your passion and your time will come soon. So cheer up.
I just looked at him in awe. Why did he suddenly become even more attractive right now?
I know I'm handsome, but stop staring. It's freaking me out.
I'm staring because I realized that you really look like a dinosaur.
What?
I gave him a teasing smile and left. The next day after school, I immediately looked for Ross, but Alice told me that he was in the hospital because his brother was sick. I went to see his brother, but when I got there, I was surprised to see him playing with a little boy and 5 little girls.
What are you doing here?
Alice told me you were here. You got me worried.
Don't worry. My little brother is fine now. He just had a bad tummy ache.
He then explained that he was the one who was raising all of his siblings for the past 10 years, and that's why he juggled jobs to send them all to school. I felt really bad for making work more difficult for him. To make up for it a bit, I invited all of them to go to the mall with me. I bought them new clothes and toys, and they looked so happy.
I'm gonna pay you back soon.
Don't worry about it. I just then felt his hand on mine, and my heartbeat started racing. He then turned to me and started leaning closer.
Big brother, we want to play in the arcades.
Ugh, why can't I get a legit kissing scene, even in real life? Ross then sat next to me as we watched the girls play. How do you manage all of these responsibilities?
When you're passionate about something, everything else just becomes easier.
You are indeed good at everything.
Actually, there's this one thing that I'm not.
What is it?
Falling in love. I'm just not capable of it.
My mood instantly dropped. Was I catching feelings? I had to ignore them, but the more I tried, the more I thought about him. The next day, Carson surprised me with flowers and a teddy bear in my trailer.
I'm so sorry, Amanda. I feel so bad for what happened. I was so stupid. Please, please forgive me.
I understand that I'm not your type, but you don't need to act like you're allergic to me, you know? It's really insulting.
I'm not allergic to you. In fact, you're totally my type. Only if I was straight.
Wait, what? Did he just say that he was gay?
Keep this our little secret, and I'll cooperate with you with the fake relationship.
You've got yourself a deal, bestie.
Now that you're aware of it, mind matching me up with your cute houseboy?
Excuse me?
Relax, darling. He's really cute, but I don't have any plans of stealing him from you.
Shut up, you're talking nonsense.
If you say so.
The next day, he visited our school without any notice, and the girls went wild, especially Dakota.
I came here to see the most beautiful girl I have ever met.
Oh, stop it. You're making me cry.
Ew, not you, Dakota. I was talking about my movie and real-life girlfriend, Amanda.
He then winked at me, and Dakota looked like she was gonna have a stroke. News of us dating immediately spread, and I was ecstatic. But my happiness was instantly robbed when I went home. Alice gave me something that shook my world. Ross's resignation letter. But why? He told me that he was offered a cool job downtown, and the pay was huge. He quit without even talking to me? I tried to call him, but he wasn't answering my calls. I used to see him everywhere, but now I couldn't find him anywhere. Oh, the irony. A few days later, Carson and I had an interview for our upcoming movie, and he was trying to hold my hand, but it felt really weird. Carson must have felt my sadness, and when we were asked if we were really dating, he said something really unexpected. Amanda and I are just friends. I really like her, and we tried it, but she likes someone else. Suddenly, I felt brave. Yes, it's true. And to that person, I just want to say, you know who you are, and I really miss you. Wherever you are, please see me tonight. I'll be waiting for you at my favorite park. Everyone gasped at my revelation. Even I was surprised at my public announcement, but I had to follow my heart. Alice told me that my interview created a huge buzz online, and I was being appreciated for my honesty. And they couldn't wait to see my movie. You did the right thing, girl. Now go get him. I was so nervous as I waited for him at the park later that night. But even after hours, there was no sign of him. I'd almost given up when suddenly I saw him walking in the distance, and my heart leapt. I ran up to him and punched him in the stomach. I hate you. Do you know that? I'm sorry. Stop being cute and start explaining why you suddenly left. I just thought you liked Carson, so that's why I quit. It's you who I like, silly boy. But what can I do? You're not capable of loving anyone anyway. I lied. That's not my weakness. Then what is it? It's you, Amanda. I've been a fan even before I met you. You're so beautiful and amazing, and it's driving me crazy because I'm just this poor boy and you're an unreachable star. That was literally the sweetest thing that I had ever heard in my life. You're really cute. No, you're cuter. So are we just gonna keep arguing about this, or are you gonna kiss me? He answered me by grabbing my face and pressing his lips against mine. Finally, I got a kissing scene, and it was magical.